do any of that.
So whether you're always on the go or working from home and need to keep business costs up, you simply want a professional tone.
Do some orthodontists collect up front a lot of money?
Well, many do. I mean, 20% is kind of standard.
You get discount though, you pay up front. I know that's what I did for my son.
Yeah. Then we offer a 7% discount for paying full at the time.
What if so if I didn't know that. So I could have paid in full instead of the monthly payments.
You can still do it. I mean, you can do it off the balance.
Can I do, is there any benefit to doing yearly, just year by year by year?
No, not really.
Just either full or monthly?
Yeah, pretty much. Because yearly thing, we have people that qualify for that. You know, they can pay ahead, no problem. We can't give a discount unless it's really the full.
Fighting for consumers more than 30 years in all areas of business, except when it comes to the IRS. I refer them to
insurance never covers orthodontics.
Oh, yeah, it does. Insurance does. Medical, or not medical, but
my kids'
dental
insurance.
If they've got orthodontic coverage, it can cover
Larson
that.
Tax Relief
So.
from your tax debt problems. Larson will get you the absolutely best possible resolution. You won't have to worry about your wages
pay
being
a portion
garnished or
normally.
losing your house.
Yes, yeah, they usually have limit like $1,500 or $20,000.
I trust Ron and Jack Larson and their team of experts, and you can too. 844 Larson Tax, or check
But
them
it's
out
not
at
like mandatory with Obama, right?
That's
The orthodontics.
No.
It's special coverage.
Yeah, orthodontics is always an add-on to regular dental, the basic dental.
Even with Obama, because I know Obama
Well,
made,
they did pediatric dentistry.
right, well, they should have done some orthodontics, because it's just as important,
Yeah, yeah,
but they don't look at it that way.
right. Well, they look at it as an expense, not as a benefit so much. Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino here.
Welcome to the show. What a busy show we have ahead of us, and we will be talking about anything you want. We have already been, contacted by people all over the country. They hear about us online because we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and of course live on the iHeartRadio app. And I've had shows all over the country, and we're downloaded tremendously, hundreds of thousands. Going forward, right now, the main complaint is, of course, is going to be, you think you're being gouged. There's not much you can do about it right now, not much. Just keep track of it. The government can't be all places at all times. I know that some local jurisdictions are being more aggressive than others, but you can expect that you will be paying more for normal stuff. That's just the way it is right now. That doesn't mean it's going to continue that way. But here's the biggest problem. When the storm chasers get there, they're not there yet. But when they get there and start leaving off pamphlets and cards and talking about repairing, that's where the millions and millions of dollars will be siphoned off of people, from people who take money and literally do nothing. Do nothing. They just take money, they disappear. Those are the people that want money up front. They want your insurance payment up front. They get you to sign up immediately. Many of them will be contract aggregators. Those are people who go out and simply collect contracts. You give them the authority to do all of the bidding for you. You think you're signing up with a contractor, and you're signing up with someone who purports to be a contractor. They present themselves as a contractor, a general contractor. They are a contractor. When you think about the strict legal word contractor, what does it mean? Entering into a contract. So they are contractors. They enter into contracts with people. Now they take those contracts and they sell them. They assign them. So I might get a contract at someone's house for a $90,000 job. Now, I go out and I try to find people to do that job for $60,000. Or maybe I don't even care if they do the job. I assign the contract and they pay me a certain amount, and then I walk away. They pay me a discount. I walk away with some money. They hope to make a spread. It's selling contracts. Most of the people who come out right away are selling contracts, not services. That won't happen for a week at least, I think, maybe more. But that's going to be the biggest problem. If you have relatives in those areas, they can contact us at any time, 24/7, at 303 Martino. We are the only media outlet that gives direct help like this, the only one. I know you're going to hear other people saying they do, and they solve problems and all that. But trust me when I tell you, every day, all day, every day, on and off the air, we are solving problems. And it's 303 Martino, 303-627-8466, as we've been doing for approaching 40 years in Denver, and longer if you count the other cities. So feel free to call on that. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Kent Lawson, Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. One of I love having him as a guest, not so much because you may have burning questions, although if you do, call us. I've had a ton of questions, and we already talked about a lot off the air, because orthodontics has changed. Now, that's to the disappointment and chagrin of many orthodontic professionals, because they would like to see things stay the same. Now, some are advanced thinkers, and they're picking up on the new orthodontics, and we'll talk about what that is. But it's great news for adults and children. A whole new way of looking at straightening teeth, an entirely new way. In some of those ways, you don't even need braces, and you don't need surgeries, and you don't need extractions. For most of them, we're going to talk about it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let me start right out. Josh Owens.
Yes.
Josh, you called a while ago, and you said that you had hired a Kevin Nagel. Is that right?
Yes.
And his name spells more like Nigel or Nigel, but he pronounces it Nagel, I believe. When he called you this morning, Suzanne, he said he is Kevin Nagel, right?
That's correct, Tom.
Josh, he took what, 17 grand from you?
Yes.
And what did you get in return?
A couple of spray paint marks.
Right. Now, that $17,000 by law was supposed to go into trust for that job. He wasn't supposed to use it to pay bills. So when he called us this morning, because we've been trying to get this money, and he promised to make some payments at one time.
And he did make a couple, Tom.
Yeah. But now he says he's going bankrupt, and he gave us the name of an attorney. What he doesn't seem to understand is that the Contractors Trust Act sets up what's called a fiduciary responsibility between the contractor and the person. So Nagel thinks all he has to do is threaten bankruptcy, and he's off the hook. He said, well, I told you people, you don't leave me alone, I'm going bankrupt. That's what he said. He was a wise ass on the phone. He said he doesn't care about anybody, basically, that he took money from. Now it's all about him. He's going to go bankrupt, and to hell with everyone he owes money to. Well, here's the deal, Kevin Nagel, if I may speak directly to you and to whatever attorney you have, because this attorney will tell you that under the Contractors Trust Act, since that money was supposed to be held in trust, if you diverted that money for personal use, you don't necessarily get to go bankrupt on it, you moron. And I hope your attorney is not a moron. What's the name of the attorney did he give us?
It's Lucero's the last name, Tom. I'm unsure of the first.
He's
down in Pueblo, that area.
Let's hope Mr. Lucero understands law. because Nagel believes all I have to do is go bankrupt and I'm out of it. But he doesn't understand the Contractors Trust Act says that money was supposed to be held in trust. When money is held in trust, that means you don't spend it, you don't commingle it, you don't use it. But that's the least enforced law in the world. But when it comes to this bankruptcy, we're going to help Josh do some adversarial actions.
Well, I got to tell you, my scumbag alert was going off, and when I walked in, you must be talking about Nagel.
Right.
I'm running a little late. I got to add something else about this bum. At least he's a bum in my opinion. He's also a liar. You know why he's a liar?
Because he said he was going to pay it back.
That's right. So he's a lying, cheating thief, in my opinion. And the guy needs to be put out of business. You heard him this morning, didn't you?
I hope he is out of it. He says he's going bankrupt. I hope he is out of it.
I'm going bankrupt. Well, yeah, you can't steal money. You can't rob a bank. You can't murder someone and get out of it.
Now, by the way, bankruptcy is not immoral. It's not. It's not the bankruptcy we're upset about. You spent the money long before the bankruptcy. See, there are bankruptcies every single day. In fact, we represent attorneys that do bankruptcies for people. Wink and wink, they do bankruptcies for people. They're very good people. There are times people run on hard times. There are times they make stupid investments. There are times they do stupid things. But here's the deal. You're not supposed to do what's calling engineering your bankruptcy. What is engineering a bankruptcy? That means you know you're going to go bankrupt, so you go out and charge up your credit cards. Or you know you're going to go bankrupt and you purposely buy things you know you get to keep because they're on a credit card. Or you contract services with people and you know you're not going to pay them. Like hard-working people who do work for you and you don't pay them. To me, that's immoral when you know you're going bankrupt. The other way I think is immoral is when you take money from people like Josh if you know you're going to go bankrupt. So that money should have been held in trust.
But he's breaking. Yeah, exactly. He's already breaking the law. This has nothing to do with bankruptcy. It has nothing to do with it, honestly.
No, but I wanted to make sure that Mr. Nagel, the moron, realizes we don't have any problem with a bankruptcy. If Kevin Nagel was in financial difficulty and went bankrupt, we feel badly for him. There are people that go bankrupt, and there are people that recover from bankruptcy. What you don't do is cheat people in the process. There's a way to do it without cheating people. And Nagel is a cheater and a liar and a thief. And that's our opinion based on our dealings, and we should give his number out again because it's imperative that people do not get caught in his snag.
I think he's lying about the attorney, too. I've left a message with this attorney about 3 weeks ago. I left another message today. I never hear back from this guy.
He didn't have a case
number. No case number, nothing. And we already know he's a liar.
So I don't know, maybe he did file. It doesn't take much to file a bankruptcy. You just need a pulse.
I had Gigi Wink with our good bankruptcy attorneys look, see if he ever filed a few weeks ago. Guess what? Never filed. Once again, Kevin, you lying sack.
Now, what's his number so people avoid him? There he is. Kevin, now he might go by Nigel or Nagel. Okay? Kevin, A-Quality Roof and Remodel. A-Quality Roof and Remodel. Stay away from that dirt bag at 719-369-1814. I'll repeat it. 719-639-1814. If anyone else has been burned by him, let us know because we'd like to do an adversarial action in his bankruptcy if he even files one and take it up with the trustee. 719-369-1814. Now, if you truly are in financial trouble and you do need a bankruptcy, trust me, I'm not telling you that is wrong. Notice the difference. It's when you cheat and lie and steal from people knowing you are going bankrupt. It's called an engineered bankruptcy, or when you transfer assets, or when you play games. It is wrong, wrong, wrong. Now, here's wink and wink if you ever need someone legit, because they will never represent people who are crooked and liars, and they'll help you do it the right way. Winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720, 303-410-1720.
Hey, Doc, how are you, sir?
Good. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you.
Okay. Just wondering about that empty seat there.
I was running late. I feel bad. I generally never feel bad, but we're on during the break, so people can hear us talking right now. And I was making fun of this girl that wanted a free bus in Castle Rock, okay? And she must have...
I normally don't feel bad.
And I normally don't feel bad. But she emailed...
Badly now?
Because she emailed back and she explained to me the reason she wanted a free bus is because she's under 16, she can't drive, and she's dying to start working. And that's why she wanted a bus. So I had to write her back.
Oh, you didn't tell me that she wrote you that.
Dan just sent it to me like 15
That
minutes
is such a wonderful thing that she wants to start
you can get a
working.
job at 14, I didn't think.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you got to have parents' permission.
Not when you have entitled kids like yours.
No, we couldn't get a job and stuff like
You
that.
didn't want your kids to stub their toe.
No, they couldn't do it like, at least at certain jobs they won't take.
I got my kids out at 7.
Oh, it is at the landmark?
Yeah.
Um,
So somebody else we're trying to help, the guy we're trying to help with the deposit stuff from last week, the lady who says she got ripped off by the contractors and can't. So I guess Kevin used to work for him. He says Kevin's an alcoholic and he can see him going down quickly. Kevin Nagel.
yeah, well, you still can't take people's money and run. Yeah, so if that girl's listening, I apologize for Tom making fun of you numerous times about the free bus and free pizza.
Isn't he a terrible person?
It's not my fault.
So, that video,
It's hard to be right all the time in every situation.
It's almost,
Listen, Doc.
I've learned it's almost impossible.
How did that cryptocurrency go? I really wanted to do that, and these guys kept telling me not to.
What are you talking about? I love cryptocurrency.
No, but he had a new one coming out.
Did you get in?
Did it open?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Did it
it's
open?
called,
Did it take a bump up?
well, it's been bouncing all over the place.
Is it the one with Mark Cuban?
No, it's the one with Kevin, not O'Leary, but Kevin.
Not Nagel.
No.
How much did it start open at?
Well, it's not a IPC, initial coin offering. It's not that. It is a network marketing. Now, it is one that I think is going to go really, really well.
Did you invest a
What's
lot?
the name?
You don't have to tell me how much. I mean,
Yeah, just comfortable.
you're a pretty smart guy, so I'm just figuring what you want to do.
You know the best thing about cryptocurrency? No kidding. You realize if they had that in some of these countries where their currency is everywhere,
Sure.
who's the one that just went down 99%? Venezuela.
Yes.
99%.
Right.
If those people, they wouldn't all be broke and no money for food if they had cryptocurrency.
That's a lot of the answer to it. Of course, China's developing their own cryptocurrency. United States is. They don't tell you this, but they are.
You know what'll be scary is if they start trading. One of the things we've got going for us is oil. You know, basically energy is traded in U.S. dollars. They start trading that in some, Chinese cryptocurrency. That's going to hurt us big time.
Well, the dollar's in trouble, as everybody knows. So, and honestly, the Chinese yuan and all of those others are a little bit of trouble also. The euro is, I mean, they're
A world currency.
Yeah. The cryptos do allow, of course, the blockchain technology is a big deal. So
The technology's there.
yeah. So it's going to happen.
I agree with you.
I
The
think this
technology's
company-
there. It's almost impossible to rip somebody off that way unless there's literally a gun to their head and they're putting in their info.
Right. But it's so we'll see where it goes. It's still.
There's a lot of people. Dan hates cryptocurrency. He thinks it's the worst thing in the world.
Well, Mark
it's untrackable.
Cuban.
It's untrackable.
Mark Cuban said.
It's scary that way.
Yeah. Mark Cuban was one of the biggest anti-cryptocurrencies. Now he's jumped on board with.
Well, he was anti because he wasn't part of it. I mean,
Right.
That sounds like Cuban.
Mile High Singles Club problem.
But anyway, we can talk more about it at some point. But it's called PROC, P-R-O-C, and it's down at a good buy right now. But the big thing is there's 4,500 merchants accepted, including everybody from Amazon to Walmart to.
There's some
That's the big.
ATMs in places now.
Yeah, for Bitcoin.
I think Walmart, which you said, but once Amazon comes on.
Yeah. Well, Amazon does
They do take...
partner with this pro-currency, PROC. Just keep remembering that, because there's 1,000 of them out there.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Let's talk, see what's on your mind. If you're dealing with Josh Nagel, what's on your mind is money you've paid and got nothing in return. Or Kevin Nagel, I'm sorry, Josh was the guy that was a victim. Any other victims, let us know. Meanwhile, we'll keep warning people. Dr. Kent Lawson is with us, Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. And here's my first observation. My kids went to Dr. Kent Lawson. We're real patients. I always say that, people. I want them to know we're real patients. My kids went for an evaluation, and they went early, not really, really early. The earlier the better. How early do you want to see kids for optimum results where really minimum time in braces? What age?
Thanks, Tom. About age 3 to 4.
If you get kids 3 to 4, what can you do for them?
Well, number one, we change the habits that are destructive to the facial development that they've got.
So that's the point. You change the habits early, and you may never have crooked teeth.
That's correct.
So what are some of the habits you change?
Well, the most destructive one we've talked about before is mouth breathing.
You know, we joke about mouth breather. Oh, he's a mouth breather. And maybe we shouldn't do that. Why is mouth breathing, why does it happen with some people? Why are some people mouth breathers?
Well, usually it's because there's an obstruction in the nasal passageway. And I did a paper 30 years ago about that, showing all kinds of different things, enlarged tonsils, adenoids, deviated septums, things. But the big one is the reduction in size of the maxilla or the upper jaw.
Now listen, people. What we're going to be talking about is miles and miles ahead of normal orthodontics. If you listen, you're going to learn so much and spread the word. The number one reason for crooked teeth is not because they inherited it from their parents, or not because, not all the time. I mean, some of that is physiological, but you add to the detriment by certain habits. What I want to ask, Doc, if you short circuit all of the bad habits, can you still have some crooked teeth due to what you inherit? Do people inherit narrow palates? Do people inherit crooked teeth?
Those are great questions, and what you're talking about is genetics. Does genetics play a factor?
Right.
Of course it does with everybody.
But
however,
you can really battle genetics to a great degree.
Yeah, and that's this field called epigenetics. What epigenetics is really the environment, if we will. And the environment are things like the food you eat, the air you breathe.
And they call it epigenetics because it is almost part of your genetic life, because your family has been doing it for maybe centuries. So it's kind of like built in, but it can be changed.
Yes, and number one thing of cause of malocclusions is the food we eat, and that is...
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. When you say malocclusions, you're saying crooked teeth, right? Is that what you call crooked teeth? Malocclusions. Okay. How can food cause crooked teeth?
This was proven somewhere around 80 years ago. Weston Price, the Weston Price Foundation, if somebody wants to do a lot of research, they studied pure cultures and found these pure cultures, when they changed to a Western diet, went from having straight teeth to crooked teeth, but just by changing to that Western refined foods diet.
Wait a minute.
Diet's a big part of it.
But why?
Yeah. Well,
is it because you don't chew enough with processed foods?
Well, it's part of that, I'm sure, but also it's the nutritional value that you're taking in.
Okay, so would you put nutrition then as number one, or mouth breathing as number one?
Well, they're they're both they're both bad.
Okay,
now,
they're both important.
I just want to remind people that there may be nothing you can do about your genetics because you can't pick your parents.
Right.
Because you're already born, and therefore your parents are what they are. and you may have a little bit of a narrow face developing because of your parents.
But if you had to pick things you could change, you're saying nutrition is a big one and mouth breathing is a big one. How do you change mouth breathing?
Yes, nutrition's a big one, but that's really part of the epigenetics that I'm talking about.
Right.
The things that you can change, potentially. But you can't change the nutrition you had as a baby up through
you can't.
age 20 if you're already 20.
Right. But now, let's go to mouth breathing. Why?
Yes.
Well, how do you improve mouth breathing?
Well,
not improve it, prevent it.
First of all, you prevent it by having what we call a patent airway. The airway is good. You can breathe through your nose without obstruction.
So when you see young children, do you sometimes recommend them to people who can open their airways?
Yes, but we also do that as far as our treatment.
Okay.
Because you
open the airways.
That's correct.
All right. So if you take kids, the earlier the better. There are some kids that will never need braces.
That's correct.
All right, we're going to continue this discussion, and I really urge you to stay tuned through the show because it's very important. 303-713-TALK. Mandy, what's going on? Mandy?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
Well, I hired A+ Plumbing and Heating to replace a sewer line for me. They did the work. I paid them in full. And about 5 days later, I received a call from Todd Haynes, the owner of Haynes Excavation Incorporated. He was the subcontractor. He said he was not paid, and he wanted me to pay him.
All right, so A+ Plumbing and Heating did your drain. And here's the thing. Most companies, and I've said this before, in fact, I only know of 2 companies. Let's see. Plumline has their own division where they actually own their own equipment. And Applewood, they own their own stuff. Who else, Mark, do we know? Wasn't there a smaller guy?
Just in last week.
Just another guy said he did it.
Yeah, they had their own excavation company, the whole bit.
It was small, but they did it.
Oh, my God, I can't believe.
Right. Well,
Quality First?
No. He doesn't mark them up a lot. He does a great job, but he doesn't have his own division.
Suzanne, who was in last week? Plumber.
Anyway.
It's killing me.
So A+ Plumbing hired another company and did not pay them.
Correct.
According to the other company. Are you sure they did not pay them?
It doesn't sound like it. I went back and forth with text messages.
Well, what does A+ say they're going to do about it?
He stopped contacting. He won't talk to me anymore.
Pro Plumbing, I had to say it.
All right, so that was the one. They have their own equipment. No, they rent the equipment,
but they do their
own work.
Themselves.
Yes, they do their own work, right? So I always think it's important when you're working with drains, you go directly to the people doing the drains. That's why I always say when I do the Plumline commercials, hey, they own their own equipment, they're their own people, and I say that about Applewood, about, if you're going to have drain work. But here's the deal, Mandy. A+ just totally stopped talking to you. Did a lien get put on your home by the other company?
Yes. I received an intent to lien on Thursday.
Well, that's serious. What's the name of the other company?
Haynes Excavation Incorporated.
Do you have a paid in full from the plumbing company?
I certainly do.
Now, what Mark is talking about, in Colorado, if you have work done first, primary residence, is that right?
Investment property. Okay,
then it's not going to work. But if it was on your primary residence and you had 2, the next requirement is a written contract. The third requirement is payment in full. If you have all of that, then you have an affirmative defense against liens. But you don't because it wasn't your permanent residence. And therefore, now, that subcontractor will most likely prevail. How much is he asking for?
$5,800.
5.8?
Correct.
Oh my goodness. We got to call A+. I mean, these guys did you wrong. What excuse could they have for this?
He kept telling me he was going to pay, and kept saying he was going to pay, and he just did not, and then he stopped speaking.
We're going to help her out for sure, but let this be a lesson to anybody out there with investment properties. This can even be a pain in the butt if it is your own house, even with the affirmative defense.
It can be.
Oh, my goodness.
So you need, it's really important to know the subs working on your jobs and make sure they get paid because you end up holding the bag. Hold on a second. We're going to contact A+ Plumbing and Heating to find out why they're not paying their subs. And people, this is a warning for you. That's why this show is so valuable. If you don't get snagged, you get warned. That's better than getting snagged. So we'll have more of that coming up. And I got to tell you, man, this is the worst thing that can happen when it comes to a job. You pay the bill, and then you find out that you have to pay it again. Let's talk about Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center quickly, because I wanted to answer this email. They have free evaluations of hearing aids and of tinnitus treatment. The tinnitus treatment is not free, though. It has a fee associated with it, but you get to try it out for 8 full weeks, and you will always get some kind of improvement. Now, here's the deal. If you want to continue, you can decide to. If not, you don't have to. With the hearing aids, there's absolutely no conditions at all. You get a free evaluation period to see if you like it or not. Now, they have treatment for tinnitus. They have treatment for, of course, hearing loss, or both. And sometimes the treatment for tinnitus is permanent if you use Desyncra. It's a permanent solution, finally, to get rid of it once and for all. There are other treatments if your tinnitus is a different kind that Desyncra can't work with. They have other treatments. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is they have the full gamut of treatment. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. Call for an evaluation and for a test drive. 303-534-0163, 534-0163. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. It's unusual to do commercials about this.
Okay, and then I got to get Joe Lazaro on. He's going to come on for line 1. The friend is here illegally, got beat up really bad, and now the friend's afraid to go to the police because he's an illegal. So Joe Lazaro, I'm getting him on right now for that.
We're a sanctuary city, though. They don't care about it.
He beat him up so bad, put him in the hospital overnight.
Was he in Denver or?
I would assume here in the Denver metro. I didn't ask.
Biggest thing, stimulants, sedatives, and even marijuana has caused problems for many. If you have a
You want to switch me over when it comes back on? It'll stall people. I'll switch that way. I can wait.
Good, I'll switch it. I know.
You're going to say you're not going to switch it.
Why would I say that? When have you ever not switched it? Hey, so just... Shut up, yeah. Hey, so on this here, I had to load the cameras a couple times, so it's not boom right now. It's log tech right down here.
Which one is it?
It's log tech is what we're on right now, right there. So here's main still there. It's just the boom. I had to plug in a couple times and stuff and reload.
Okay. We got to get a round microphone. Or what do they call it? A boom mic.
Larson Tax Relief and resolve from tax debt fraud. Larson will get you the absolute best possible resolution. I trust the Larsons and their team of experts. You can too. Don't let unresolved tax issues weigh you down any longer. Call Larson Tax Relief now. 844-LARSON-TAX or online at LarsonTaxRelief.com. That's 844-LARSON-TAX. Larson is the only tax relief and audit organization I endorse on my referral list at referrallist.com.
I'm excited I'm getting a total knee replacement. Well, some might consider this thought less than rational because knee replacement is major.
Mark is out of control today.
Risks of bleeding, infections, and more. So if you have pain caused by an arthritic knee and you want a solution other than surgery, you're not alone. But the key to getting relief from knee arthritis is finding the correct treatment sooner rather than later. The Osteo Relief Institute is on the forefront of medically proven solutions that are allowing thousands to cancel or delay the knee replacement surgery they were told they needed. Merging high-tech medicine using laser-guided video imaging with an all-natural FDA-approved joint cushioning therapy, the Osteo Relief method can put the spring back in your step. Thousands have said goodbye to their knee arthritis pain.
We've argued a few times, Tom and I. Why do you think the Europeans have horrible teeth, man, like little, because they never brush them? Is it something with the water? All the above?
Yeah, I think it's partly the culture.
I think they still smoke like crazy over there, too.
The English, to me, have always been the worst.
Yeah.
It is, so the stereotype holds true. Why?
Yeah. I'm not sure I can answer that. I gotta say it's probably cultural, because they don't put that as a priority. They haven't.
Yeah.
They're doing it more so now than they used to.
I remember in school, even elementary school, remember the dentist would come in with those little red tablets and you'd take them, and then they'd give out toothbrushes. I mean, I think they did that 1 or 2 times a year in elementary school. They probably did nothing like that in Europe.
Right, yeah. I think that's very, very true.
And the opportunity for $1,000 cash.
And you know, the movies were made here, Hollywood and everything, the people with the glamorous smiles and all that, that came out of the United States. And not a whole lot of that in Europe, you know. Europe, the big thing was symphonies and operas and stuff like that, but it wasn't performing so much with the big smile.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we've been inundated with that for a long time. They're changing, though. It's definitely better than it used to be in Europe.
Time is running out. 720-895-0500. NMLS 298191, regulated by DORA, equal credit lender.
Sheridan Auto Tech is special because of the man behind the business. Kevin Coughlin, the owner, is honorable and will never sell you anything you don't need. He will take care of you like one of his own. He has thousands of loyal customers and has been in business more than 20 years. He cares about you. 303-455-7242 on Colfax just west of Wadsworth, or in Aurora on Havana just south of 6th Avenue. 303-455-7242. Sheridan Auto Tech.
Sean Hannity, today at 1 on Denver's Talk Station 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK. Evan, what is happening with you? Hello, Evan. What's going on? Why was he beaten? Why? So was there a fight or was it an attack? And it was bad. You said though, but you said they were fooling around at first, so I'm not quite sure what you mean. Yeah? It got serious. Intensive care, what happened to him? Yeah. What are they? Tell me what is happening now. Did he press charges? Well, I don't know. I mean, in Denver, I heard that they won't turn him into the feds.
Is he a criminal?
The only time I heard people being turned in, if ever, is if they are wanted on a serious crime. But Denver especially, I mean, you've heard the term sanctuary city, haven't you? Well, it doesn't. Okay, it's the same thing. I don't know of many cities that will turn in, especially victims of crime.
Especially victims
hold on,
of crime. But hold on. Let's talk to our criminal defense attorney, Joseph Lazara, and then maybe we should get on one of our immigration attorneys to see what he thinks. So we can get on one of our immigration attorneys. But Joe, when people are victims of crimes or witnesses for crimes and stuff, have you known how do they handle that with ICE?
Yeah, generally the courts and the DA are not turning you into ICE. You know, there is an obligation in some jurisdictions that follow it that if you're arrested and you're subject to a jail sentence, they communicate that to ICE if you're an illegal. But that, you know, I mean, there's some stories that you hear on the news about ICE hanging out at the courthouses and arresting people. In my perspective, I think that's a little bit more overblown than it actually occurs. I have not seen, I go to court multiple times a day. I have yet to see ICE actually sitting there waiting to grab somebody.
Have you ever defended someone on a crime who otherwise was here illegally?
Yeah, that's a good percentage of our...
now, does the residency come up, or does the does that come up at all? The documentation.
It does. The courts are now requiring us to give an advisal to see what his immigration status is, because it could result in deportation. Out of the thousands of clients I've had, I probably have only had a handful that have actually been deported.
So you're saying if this guy's a victim of a crime, he should cooperate with police?
Absolutely. I mean, one, for a couple different reasons. I think the police and the DA's office are going to go out there and protect him. That's number one. Number two, he doesn't want this other person to get away with.
Right, of course. Of course. Do you think that, thank you, Joe. Joseph A. Lazara, by the way, criminal defense attorney, on our referral list at referralist.com. 303-429-6200, 429-6200. By the way, do you think, Evan, that he was attacked because he was an immigrant?
No, I don't think so. I think what I understood was that they were kind of, his neighbor came over his house and they were kind of joking a little bit. And
but you don't think it had anything to do with his immigration status at all?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
And what I heard from him was that they were kind of joking about, you know, because they carry a small hand knife, right? Yeah. And he carries a small hand knife, and the other guy carries a small hand knife for, you know, things to cut, you know, like packages and stuff like that. Anyway, they were kind of says, oh, you know, they were just joking, like, so I got knife and they got knife, and they kind of got to the point that says, oh, I got bigger knife. You know?
It's an odd thing.
I know. It's pretty stupid things to do, but, you know, the boys will do that anyway. So
the boys will do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do that, some stupid things.
Yeah, when I'm watching the game, I generally have a knife fight.
So hold on. I want to talk to Jay Muheisen, who's on our referral list at referralist.com. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Tom.
Have you heard of people, if they're victims of crime? Now, you do immigration work, Muheisen and Muheisen, on our referral list at referralist.com. Do you hear of people getting in trouble when they're victims of crime?
Well, Tom, you know, there was a big concern that victims of crime would be scared to cooperate with law enforcement and with the prosecutor's offices. And for that reason, there is actually laws to protect victims of crime. And in fact, if this gentleman is undocumented, there actually may be a way for him to become legal by cooperating with law enforcement, with prosecution of the crime. There's a there's a victim's visa available. There's a visa, it's called the U visa, and for certain types of violent crimes, if you are a victim of a crime and you cooperate with law enforcement, the prosecution of the bad guy, you actually might be able to, you know, not only do you not have to worry about this affecting you and resulting in deportation, but it actually may have a positive result in that he may be able to actually get legal status.
Well, that's great. Now, Muheisen, Evan, if you want your friend to call, 303-407-0453, 303-407-0453. 0453. So it's really important that he cooperate, I think.
Hey, I'm curious, Jay, is it possible if this other guy happened to say, hey, if he's going to get, how do I put this? If the other guy's saying, hey, this guy attacked me with a knife, then what happens to the illegal immigrant?
Well, obviously,
if he's accused of a crime, in other words.
What if there's a counter-accusation?
You know, and I mean, I don't know the details of what happened. Obviously, none of us were there. But certainly, if you are undocumented and are charged with a crime, that puts you at risk, because there's a very good chance that if you are, in fact, convicted of a crime, that's going to alert the officials that you are not only a bad guy committing crimes, but also that you're undocumented. It could result in him being arrested and put in removal proceedings.
So he takes the chance of it that if he goes about this guy will make a countercharge. But in all likelihood, Joe Lazaro says it's a better outcome if you cooperate. And Jay, you seem to indicate that too. We have more coming right up.
It happens.
News report.
You will never stand.
Yeah, exactly. As if that doesn't happen every week. He said, I got a knife, and the other guy said he had a knife, and, well, boys will be boys. Christ. What culture is that?
Well, I don't know. I did get stabbed in the hand once, but the guy was fucking around.
Where, in the military?
No. It wasn't like super deep. Boys will be boys.
Oh, man.
Good thing you didn't have a gun. You should have told him, don't you know you bring a gun to a knife fight?
No.
But might watch the wide range of threats to your identity. If something happens, U.S.-based specialists can work.
I knew a kid in school, and he'd carry around a switchblade, man. This was in freaking middle school, too. He was a badass. I never messed with him. His name was Troy.
He starts working in Granite and decides to have his own
You know, some people you just know they're psycho. He was
Tom, when you done with Muheiser?
He meets you in your home, not in a warehouse. He designs
yeah, but they're legal in many states.
He didn't care. Troy didn't care less, man.
Teachers didn't know about it?
No one cares about illegal immigration anymore.
If you read it
Don't you think the prevailing opinion in America is you should leave illegal immigrants alone?
No,
I do.
I don't think it is.
I think they need to do work visas.
I think with like the dreamers
But
and
if you
stuff.
go
yes.
to all of these, every single Democrat, every single one of them believes you should leave them alone. There should be no immigration
Then
law.
why didn't they, if that thought is so there, why didn't they win the election? I'm just curious.
I don't know, but
Because there's a lot more people that think the other way.
Except when it comes to voting, they don't. See, that's the funny thing about it. Everyone says Trump's agenda won, except when it comes to making law. Every single he has the majority technically, and he can't get a law passed.
Well, that's
Because the majority of people, I'll guarantee if they say
so. I can say that the majority is not going along with him because
no, absolutely. It's the majority of the lawmakers might be, but the people are. A lawmaker doesn't have to vote according to their constituents.
That's true.
And the media skews it all in
Absolutely.
one direction.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
That makes people think that that's the majority because the media is talking that way.
You know what's the worst? When people go, how come your husband hasn't gone back to me yet? So apparently some guy who's had, I mean, I get this like once a month, like I've done something wrong.
Yes.
Some lady is so pissed. Her husband, Kevin Windstrom, with a problem with Budget A1, it's been going on for a year.
I'm done with them.
What is it?
Oh, you're done with them. Okay, well, I didn't know.
They want, if it's the one I'm thinking about, they have made Mark come out and tow the vehicle back in numerous times instead of just bringing it to him. And now there's another issue a year later. They can't bring it to him. It's the vehicle's drivable. They want him to spend on a tow truck.
Under warranty.
It doesn't matter if it is under warranty. His warranty doesn't state they're going to go pick it up 150 miles away.
I understand that. But
Have him tell him to come on the air right now.
She was so nasty to me. I was like,
I want to know.
Have him come on. No, have him come on. Have him come on right now, and then get Scott on.
Should we do it for Car Day?
let's do it because I want to get her email and have her on.
No, you get her on right now. She's fired up.
I don't have her husband's number. I can call White.
He has gone way. What's the name again? Let me make sure it's the right one.
Kevin Wenstrom, W-E-N. There it is.
You know, I'm going to do an article on this. That's why I'm asking you very basic questions.
Yep. Says I want to know why. I haven't heard that.
Mouth breathing, we're going to go down to the next elements.
So I told her to send me. I said maybe Mark can get it.
Here was the last one I put. They are willing to get it cleaned and fix the problem. There is no damage that I know of from being overfilled with oil for a short period of time. It is completely up to you how to proceed. They cannot take the shop tools and equipment to clean up your vehicle to your house. I can ask them to pick it up some morning, clean it, check it, and bring it back. Would you like that? And he puts no.
What? He wants them to work on it on his house?
No, not just messy, incompetent, lack of attention, failure to complete the job. Cleaning sounds great, but it is not convenient to just drop the truck off. I work 6 days a week. So. His only problem was they overfilled the oil a little.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, I'm here with Dr. Kent Lawson from Neo Smiles. Actually, New Early Orthodontics. Neo Smiles is a name for it. Neo Kids Dentistry and New Orthodontics. He also has Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ, because this system benefits in different ways, both children and adults. But with children, because I am so blown away by this system and how straight my girls' teeth are in such a short amount of time, that I'm wondering, when you get kids from early ages, they probably will never need braces in many cases. But we're talking about a different kind of orthodontia. We're talking about where you start out early with these mouthpieces, for lack of a better word, and they gradually widen the palate. Is that right? Is that what they're doing?
Well, that's somewhat right, but the habits are every bit as critical as that mouthpiece.
So are they're doing tongue placement within that mouthpiece?
Yes, that's correct.
So, because we talked about things we can change, things that cause crooked teeth that we can change. Nutrition is one of them. Mouth breathing is another. But what about tongue placement? That's a separate issue. So tongue placement can also cause crooked teeth?
That's absolutely correct.
Like what?
Well, first of all, the primary reason people develop crooked teeth is because of a narrow or underdeveloped upper jaw.
Okay.
And that can be caused by too low of a tongue placement, where instead of being at the roof of the mouth where the tongue normally rests, it can be dropped down. And that's why mouth breathing is causing that tongue to drop down. And then you get a collapse of the upper jaw. And therefore...
So together, mouth breathing and the tongue placement can truly cause problems.
Well, it's all part of, there's essentially about 4 different items that need to be correct. Need to breathe through the nose correctly.
Got it.
Tongue at the roof of the mouth on rest. Swallow correctly so that the lips stay closed. And actually, the lips being closed is one of the primary things. And then another one is having good head posture and all of that.
So your mouthpieces address which parts of these? The mouth breathing, the tongue placement, the lips?
Most growth takes place at night to sleep.
Okay.
So the mouthpiece is basically worn at night. That's called a myobrace that we use.
Myobrace, right.
Okay? And so the lips are closed during that time. The person is breathing through their nose, and the growth is occurring during that time.
This can stop. This can stop an apnea in children early in life.
That's correct. And if they've got an apnea, that's a very, very dangerous situation very early.
If they're going to develop one later on in life, this could prevent it.
That's correct. That's one of our objectives.
Okay, so I'm learning a lot. Mouth breathing, tongue placement, lips, and posture. Mm-hmm. I just can't believe all of these things work into crooked teeth. Now, you do through myobraces, you address all of these.
Well, that's correct. The earlier the better.
Now, then, after myobracing comes what?
Well, the myobrace part can start as early as age 4 and 5. We give instructions even before that. Even as a newborn baby, we give instructions to the mother. We believe in breastfeeding. We believe in proper breathing and silent breathing, all that type of thing. then the treatment can start with an actual appliance as soon as the child is old enough to accommodate and have that responsibility.
Like 3 years old?
Yeah, well,
or 4?
4 to 5
okay.
is pretty much the limit.
This is incredible. This is really incredible. So by the time they're when can this case be done?
Well, by the time they're age 11 to 12, when all the rest of the permanent teeth come in, that's when they can be assessed. And we know that over half of these will never need braces or further attention.
That's incredible. And I know from personal experience that I didn't even get my kids in near that young, and they're already showing incredible results. Now, yeah, they may need braces for a few years, but already I have saved thousands of dollars. I didn't do it to save money. I want to say that. I don't want people thinking, what a cheapskate. You know, he's worried about his kids' teeth. He shouldn't worry about it. But I did. I've saved thousands of dollars already compared to the bids I've gotten from orthodontics. And their teeth are already showing progress.
Yes.
I mean, so I find it phenomenal. Because usually when you have something new, it's more expensive. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Tom, just to put your heart at ease here, this is sweeping the world, literally. There are now millions of Chinese children that are receiving this type of treatment because the government, the Chinese government, has seen such a benefit in it.
All right, now we're going to take all your calls. Evan, he needs to talk about a friend. Sally wants to talk about Getty Images and more coming up. Ideal Home Loans.
Yeah,
for your next
see what calls are still there. We don't need Evan. We're done. This consumer with budget has been a pain in the ass for over a year. Everything. I can't even tell you.
The initial problem, there was one that they did wrong. They did something wrong.
A year ago, they overfilled the oil by probably a half a quart.
And what would that do to an engine?
Nothing. It would do nothing. And the guy knows that. He wanted them to come pick up the vehicle 150 miles away and drain the oil and tow it. So this last time that happened this month.
Wait, did they go and drain it?
I don't know how that turned out. I honestly don't remember how that turned out. But anyhow, I don't hear from the guy. Now his problem is, hey, they also did a axle seal. I went to another place. They said there's a small leak on the axle seal. Mark says there is a warranty for 1-year parts and labor, but he won't send a tow truck out to get it. Mark tells the guy, hey, listen, a little leak in the axle seal, just drive it down. We'll even do it while you wait. It'll only take us an hour. We'll knock it out. Next thing you know, a box shows up at A1. The axle seal's inside with the bill. He had someone else fix it and wants Marks to pay it.
No, it's not going to work that way. No, that just doesn't work that way.
The guy's a nut.
Because he lives 150 miles away, that's not Mark's fault.
Hurricane Irma and some may be out for weeks, we're told. There's dangerous flooding.
I covered 5 tow bills on his previous vehicle for free that were no fault of our own. So, in the past year, he's towed this guy 5 different times at his own cost.
Why does he keep doing that?
And then finally he said, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. He even said he'd book it in.
Well, for a half a quart, you think you could drop something down the dipstick and suck a little bit out.
You honor.
Let me see what actually happened on that
You
one.
are courage.
Drop the drain plug too with the head.
Well, that's underneath.
You got to do it quick.
You can do it and just let it dribble, but it's a mess. I mean, they change oil by going through the dipstick.
What do you mean?
By putting a hose down there and
Geico presents a voicemail from your friend Water.
I don't know if every car can do it, but
It's me, Water. Oh, look, about what happened in your apartment with the broken pipe.
The dipstick and the fill are not usually the same color, are they?
I'm sorry. You're right. I meant the fill.
Someday. Oh, and also, I'm not paying for anything. Okay, bye.
Water never pays for water damage. Luckily, the Geico Insurance Agency makes getting coverage
They
a
haven't.
snap. Visit geico.com to see how affordable renter's insurance can be.
Here's the very first one. They did major work on my vehicle that required draining of my oil. They refilled the oil with the shop oil and filter. My complaint is simple. They overfilled the engine by 1 or more quarts. This caused an oily mess in my air intake. This is, they secure the rubber dust cover, blah, 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 had a clutch and rear main sealed up, grease, seat covers. I'm glad I had it there or my seat covers would be trashed. The main reason I went to budget was my wife. She said, let's go to someone on Tom Martino's referral list, blah, blah, blah. And I put, hey, Kevin, I'm looking into it now. What could they do to make it better? Steam clean the engine, shampoo it? Sounds like one of the techs was messy that day. Blah, blah, blah. No, they're not messy. They're incompetent. Blah, blah, blah.
Tom, by the way, that's it's not kids dentistry anymore. It's just New Early Orthodontics. So the other ones just block out.
I'm surprised after they fill the engine, they wouldn't check.
Block out Neo Kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Not no kids dentistry there. No. It's all.
It's everybody.
No. New Early Orthodontics.
So. Stay for you and take the weight off your shoulders. Larson Tax Relief.
I have Neo Smiles, the new orthodontics.
The Smiles, that's part of the website. So I will tell you that newearlyorthodontics.com is really the operational website.
Okay. Okay. So, and then what is the name of the business down in Lone Tree?
New Early Orthodontics.
Okay. Okay. That's what I have it, except I had Smiles. Okay. Okay.
An audit organization I endorse on my referral list at referrallist.com. If you have roof damage from storms, call Excel Roofing at 303-761-6400. Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Excel Roofing.
New Early Orthodontics. Got it. And then
recommending them for 20 years, and they've done 3 roofs for me.
Yeah, that's what I had on mine. I had except I had.
That was an old one we had a year or longer ago.
But the website will be
newearlyorthodontics.com.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. New Early Orthodontics. Yeah.
Good, then it's not Neo-Smiles.
Right. Yeah, that'll still get them there.
I know. I like New Early Orthodontics.
But the newearlyorthodontics.com is what we're using. So. Sorry for the confusion on that.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within 1 day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of
and you still have, of course,
needle in the haystack.
And right now you
Aurora Orthodontics.
Yes, Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ, that's ongoing.
And then for adults, do you use the term New Orthodontics for adults or not?
We do, and it's in my book. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to shut it down at all.
Yeah.
You talk about this for
Not
for that long.
Right, maybe not for that long.
I think like a week, right?
Well,
I don't even think
getting
that.
quite a few, quite a bit of rain.
And that website is AOTMJ.com.
Yes.
Home Depot's down real. You see that $2? Because they didn't think it was that bad.
People overbought it.
I think you're right.
See, I thought Kroger would be up more than it is today because they have a lot of stores there and the damage wasn't there, but yet the shelves are all empty.
Somebody said storage areas like Cubes was a place to invest in storage area. Now it's down, so people overbought that.
People overthought the whole thing.
Right. Oh, I thought it should be worse. I mean, they were really thinking this Houston's.
I thought it was going to be the worst of the year.
Well, I thought it's not a walk in the park, guys.
Right.
Florida was basically underwater.
Well, do you think Houston's worse?
No. No, hell no.
And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK is the number. 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve your problems, basically. Solve them, yeah. The only show that gets directly involved, recovering millions of dollars for people in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. We're talking about new early orthodontics for children, and we're talking about new orthodontics for adults as well, and we will talk about those coming up. Some incredible stuff going on there that can save you money and get the job done quicker and better. So let's talk to, I want to take people who have been waiting here a while. Michelle, I believe. Michelle, what's going on? Micheline, what's going on, Micheline?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Micheline. What's happening?
I've been a widow for 11 years, so I decide I would like to find a dancing companion.
Yes.
So I enrolled in the dating agency. I don't know if I should say the name or not.
It
right
doesn't
now.
matter, Micheline. It doesn't matter. If you want to, you can. We can find out later. What's happening with this agency?
Well, what happened is they start their fees at $9,000, $8,000.
Oh my
they
goodness!
Keep going down and down.
What do you get? Wait, what do you get for $8,000?
Well, I got nothing.
What's it called? It's Mile High Singles.
Mile High Singles, yes.
They
They're
start.
on
You
400
paid.
Colorado Boulevard.
You paid how much?
$3,400.
Oh.
And $200 for the video, and $200 for pictures and video, and then the pictures were fuzzy, so they redid it for $100.
Well, where are you getting $8,000 to $9,000 if you spent $3,500?
Well, they start with $9,000, then they go down, and then they go down because you keep bargaining with them, and every time you stand up,
Oh,
you
so
want
by
to
the
leave,
so by
you
the
know,
time you
right.
think by the time you get to $3,500, it sounds like a bargain.
Well,
It's like a
wasn't
timeshare.
bargain to me, but I decided to go ahead.
Okay, so you got it marked down to $3,500 plus
$3,400.
$3,498. That's or 90. That's close
Yeah.
to 35. But
Yeah.
then you paid another what, 200 or 300?
To $300 altogether extra.
Okay, so now you're up to 3,800.
Yes.
So now what?
And then, so nothing happened. So I kept calling and calling.
What do you mean nothing? What was supposed to happen?
Well, they're supposed to. Apparently, it's an exclusive type agency, and you meet people of a higher caliber.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite find that.
Did you find any? Did they make any introductions for you?
Yes, but you have to call and almost pester them to get somewhere.
So wait, they don't have a website where you just go and check and see if somebody's inquired?
They do, but you cannot get hold of them unless you call them and ask for their phone number, letting them know that you want to meet them. But you cannot on your own. They have to send you a picture, a profile, and then their phone number. So far, there's been 12 people. The first person I met was a judge, and it seems to me that I had the feeling he belonged to the agency, but I'm not sure about that. And then I met two people having coffee, and, well, it was not what I thought it would be. And the rest,
well, it's not like they're not getting results. It's just that you don't like the results,
Yeah,
right?
12 people. That's a lot.
But, you know, that was in May. That was May 10th.
Wait, how many people?
And the rest of them do not respond. And a couple of them said that chemistry not compatible. If you don't meet a person, how do you know that?
Well, I don't know. Do they get photos?
But yeah, there's photos. They send you the photo with them, but the photo doesn't have a phone number unless you call them and say, I would like to meet this person.
I see. Well, they want to kind of control it. They want to try to keep it from being a free-for-all. I'm not sticking up for them. I don't really know them, but we've never gotten really complaints about them that I know of. Okay, so that says something. I mean, we've gotten complaints about a lot of different ones, but not this one. Now, here's what I want to know. Okay, how many actual introductions were they responsible for?
1, 2.
How many people did you actually meet?
4 people, that's all.
So you met 4 people.
4 people, yes.
And what about how many other people?
The others, no response, or there were 2 response, not the right chemistry.
Now, what do you mean? That was, they said that to you?
The answer, yes.
And the answer meaning what? After they saw what?
Oh, they didn't say me. They just respond, not the right chemistry.
Well, they'll see your picture, I'm sure, on your profile.
Was it responding to a photograph or to an email or to what?
I do not know. From their phone call.
Oh, you had a phone call with them. So
them, the agency, calling them. When you complain enough, then they call someone and see if you are a match, I guess, or just to please you.
Okay, so you got to meet 4 people. Tell me about them.
Well,
one was a judge.
Yes,
Good-looking man?
No, well, okay.
Your age?
But he kept saying he traveled a lot. I would say late 70s, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not very good with age. Some people look younger or older.
Well, how old are you?
I'm going to be 74, and
okay.
I look more like.
Have you tried Tinder?
No, she's 74. She's not going to use Tinder.
Jeez, Mark.
I will be 74. You would have to look at the video to understand. There's a video there, and they interview you.
Okay, I'm going to get logged in and look, and then see what's going on here. Do you think? Well, what do you think? Do you think they're cheating you? What do you think the problem is?
Definitively, the two gentlemen.
Do you? No, I mean on purpose.
Like
you think that they're just on purpose cheating you? In what way?
Your money. They just take your money, and after you sign a contract.
So you don't think anyone's legitimately got together doing it? You don't think that? You don't.
I don't know the background, how they operate.
What is your background? Are you born in America?
No.
I detected an accent. What is it?
I'm French.
Okay.
I live in many, many countries.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been widowed?
Since 2006.
Okay.
And I have not dated, and I decided, well, I love to dance. I miss it, especially Latin dancing. Maybe I can find a dancing partner through the agency. I'm really not into a deep relationship, but more like companionship.
I understand. Sure.
And
was your first husband?
Very, very
what
active.
was your first husband? The one you lost? I mean, was he your first husband?
My second.
Was he the love of your life?
Yes.
So you're not looking for a romantic encounter for the end of that meet your soulmate. You just want to dance with someone.
Know. You never know.
But right now you are you feel like if you could just have some companionship and dancing, it would be fine.
Yes, and I like intellectual type conversation too.
Now, from this site I'm looking at, it does look like it caters more to older people. To me.
Yes, I want someone closer to my age.
Well, it does look like this from what I'm looking at. These guys are all looking older to me.
Well, the first one, I couldn't. Probably he has a stroke. He couldn't talk, hardly talk, and very, very shaky. And
now, are you saying that you're 74, but you look much younger?
Yes. Well, you can. If you look at the video, you will have an ID.
All right, dear. Hold on a second. I'll try to get an idea here. Suzanne's frantically trying to find it for me, and I would love to look. I'd like to look at the site in general. From first blush, Mark, it doesn't look like this, high-flying scam like,
We've never had a complaint on them.
I'm saying it looks pretty normal, but I don't know. I'd love people's opinions if they've ever tried it, Mile High Singles. The website looks good. Is there a problem, Suzanne, getting the profile? Okay. She's trying to find the profile. I'll look at it, and then we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll put it up on our social media and see.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Maybe we can get her a date. How about that? 74. Listen, for those of you thinking 74, why does she want a date? Wait till you're 74 before you mention that.
She's bored.
You know what? It's amazing how some of our younger people feel that aging is optional.
Did you know there's
more? Or that it won't happen to them. And I was one of them.
There's more venereal diseases in old folks' homes than anywhere else.
Well, we don't have to get into that. But I'm going, now you're going to make me poke my eyes out with pokers. I just wanted to talk about the fact that some young people, I swear to you, they look at old people and they think, oh my goodness, there's an old person, and what they don't understand is no matter what they do, they're going to be there. Now, they can be in better shape or worse shape, but they're going to be there someday. So hold on, let's see what we can find out, and maybe help Micheline find someone as a dance partner. Wouldn't that be nice? I think that would be great. 303-713-TALK. Maybe Brutus is up for dancing. I don't know.
I was thinking Deputy Dan.
Deputy Dan? He can cut a rug, I heard. No, is that an old term? I don't use that term. I'm looking for my commercials. I don't even know what I'm doing. Can you just give me someone, please? Oh, here we are. Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal. Listen, this is the best time to buy a car because they're in between all seasons, and it's kind of slow. People, the people aren't looking for, summer cars. They're not looking necessarily for winter cars. They're not looking for, pickup trucks. I mean, it's really just a kind of dull season in between everything. So Rocky's has some great deals, buy it now deals, I call them. Even though they have one price shopping, they do. Those prices change, meaning that if things get tight and they want to start selling more, those prices drop. So they do have prices clearly marked on the units, and they don't want to spend a lot of time negotiating. But they will drop, in general, their prices across the board when things start getting slow. And they also have 40 lenders to choose from. You can shop lending, too. And rates are low, low, low. Depending on your lender, they have some great lenders if you have great credit for very low rates. And then, of course, rates go up slightly as you're challenged with credit. Rocky's, 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. All kinds of selection in both automobiles, trucks, SUVs, vans, and selection in financing. And don't forget, they give great trade values. That's 303-426-4646, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8.
Well, Deputy Dan.
Maybe she's heir to the Michelin fortune.
Her first name is Michelin. Can you please let me see her?
I bet she loves Seinfeld.
Now, I'm going to tell you.
Seinfeld is good.
Did you know that, though, with old folks' homes? It's crazy, man. More of an aerial disease than anywhere else. High schools.
When I was younger, I thought I was the tough,
the cat's
biggest stud. No, not all around. But just because I found this girl that liked me. She was a senior. She was blonde and beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Or she's freshman in college.
How old were you?
I was younger. That's why I thought, wow. Okay, so what was she? Hold on. This is a funny story. She was 8 years older than me.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. 8 years older than me. I'm thinking, this is really cool. She was gorgeous. So, so then right now she would be 72. Okay. And I saw a picture of her on some social media. I wasn't looking for her, I just happened to see it. And I couldn't even believe, there was not even one glimpse of familiarity. You know how you see your friends from old school and you can at least see something? It was like I was looking at
figure out how to view her profile.
some basket-weaving woman who was just
not log in?
Well. Most of my old friends, I can see my old friend. I can see them. They've aged, but you can see them. This had there was no familiarity, which was the weirdest thing in the world. Not one thing was recognizable because they aged so terribly.
Yeah, 8 years.
I logged in the other day and I could find her profile.
Most of the time with my friends,
did she cancel and maybe they took it down?
Maybe they did.
And their faces might get like puffier and they get.
But I can find her activity where guys said no. Right here.
Oh, I was in my.
Here's the guys that says like, fun physical chemistry, but I can't find her.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Like, here's her name, but
and then your memory back
That's right, because she was like in her 20s, man, and I was like 16. I was like, oh man.
And then also your memory is different. I mean,
where's her picture?
You're thinking of this.
It's under her profile. That's what I can't figure out. How to click on her profile.
Can you ask her? Well, if it's her login, you may not be able to.
No, I was able to downstairs last week.
Tell her we need to find a way.
What's her name?
Michelin. Well, hold on.
Oh, what's her member number?
Why don't we go to our home? Are we all logged in as her?
Around in here.
We're all logged in as her. Yeah, because we have her.
Dan, fill out this questionnaire. Video grid.
Hey, what happened to your phone here?
Private message history.
Got a little crack.
Mm-hmm. No, it's just on the plastic. It's not on the phone.
They're not going to let us see.
Well, there's got to be a way to see her own thing. Can't she update her own picture?
Are we logged in as her?
Yes.
Here, I want to see it before Mark, so he doesn't say anything live. Me first. I don't want him to say mean things. Me first. Get him away.
Keep going. Stay away. Back, boy.
I don't want
View my profile. Here, she's cute. Oh, she's so cute.
I guess.
She's certainly not a terrible-looking woman, that's for sure.
No.
No.
Where's the video?
She's not a bad-looking woman.
Not at all.
No, for that.
No,
that age
that's
group,
right.
yeah.
So how do you show her video, though? Here, see my video right there.
Yeah. She's actually kind of cute.
She's got a very stylish hair design.
Everybody's checking it out. Buddhist is checking it out.
Okay, I'm going to try to grab that video.
I mean, she's...
I wonder if
she's 74.
She's distracted for that.
I wonder if
She's 74 years old.
For that age.
You better ask her.
Where did she
has
hit
nice
to get
teeth.
in there?
She's 74 years old.
It's like her Latins.
How did you get in there? How do I get there?
Not overly
All right,
made
we're
up.
She's not someone you necessarily want to date, but if you're... But
Brutus nailed the song coming back.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Okay, so we got to look. See, men are so visual. That's all they care about. Let's get a look. Let's get a look. Let's find out. Let's assess. Let's assess. Okay, so Mile High Singles, and we got to look at Micheline. And Micheline definitely is definitely a nice-looking woman, and she's 74. And I would not peg her at 74 at all. Now, I'm not going to fool you and tell you, she doesn't look like a 40-year-old girl, and it's not something... but listen, we are all aging, right? I mean, none of us are. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. We age. Age is something inevitable, and you just do the best you can. But I know what she means. She's in good shape, and she's not giving in, She has a sense of fashion. So I'm surprised you haven't found anyone seriously. Especially when I see some of these old coots that especially like at the athletic club and stuff, and they don't have a ring on their finger, and God knows they shouldn't, but I'm just wondering why you can't find a date. That's odd to me. Hold on a sec. Let's see. Where is she? Micheline. Okay, we're gonna try to get you a date, but
no, not this way. That's all right.
Okay, we won't.
I'm terribly busy. I belong to different music group. I sing and dance. We entertain.
I can tell.
Seniors and such. We have a wonderful time, and I'm full of energy.
Yeah, you look like you're having fun with life.
I love life.
Yes.
And there's so much to do and to learn.
So, in any case, I looked at the video. Yeah, the video was good. We've looked at it all. I can see what you're saying. Here's what I was going to say. Okay, Micheline, we've had calls like this before from younger people, but we've had calls where people say, I think the place is ripping me off. I think this and I think that. We've had other calls like where a guy was disappointed he had signed up, and he couldn't, they cut him off because he sent out 65 emails in a day, and he was upset that there was a limit, and he was emailing too many women, and they got upset with him. So there's all kinds of complaints.
I didn't get any email from any of them. It's from the agency. When they saw I was unhappy, they would try to hook me with someone who has not...
I bet I could find her a mate. I'm not kidding.
No,
can I take this video and try to find you somebody?
No. Here's the thing.
No, not really.
She's not looking. She's not desperate is what she's telling
I smell a Facebook campaign.
No, here she says she's not desperate, and she doesn't want you to do that. But here's what I want you to know. There is real matchmaking, seriously, real matchmaking. These are dating sites. That's different than matchmaking. They're not matchmakers.
I thought this is what they told me they were, matchmakers.
That's what they say, but real matchmakers, I only know of one in town that actually works. And she really does. I mean, she's a little hard to take because she tells you the truth. No, I'm serious. I mean, she'll say things like, well, you know, Tom, you're or not me, you know, and I bet she'll talk to people and say, look, you know, let's face it, you're not going to, you know, do that. You're not going to get someone 35 years old who's running marathons and who makes $1 million a year. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is she really brings people down to earth to take a look at themselves and say, look, what are you looking for? And I don't give her name out because like I said, I don't want to. I don't want to, but she's the only one I know that works, the only one that truly works. She truly takes one person at a time and matches with one person at a time, and she doesn't take too many clients at once, and she just does it until you're satisfied. And I've never... She's
that's what it was.
Yeah, and that's. But you may be interested in that kind or that woman. I don't get anything for referring people to her, but you may. I'm trying. For some reason. And
I don't think I want to spend any more money.
But I think she wants her money back. Tom, do you think Mile High Singles fulfilled their part of the agreement?
Well, if they got her introductions, it's not their fault.
You have the agreement in front of you.
Yeah, but it's not their fault if people weren't interested in her profile.
See, I thought Micheline, did you allude?
Access because they say, after I complain about this, they say, well, most older men do not use computer. I says, well, how are they supposed to have access to my profile?
Oh, that's not true. They do. I mean, the biggest growing population is on Facebook. In fact, you may find more people on Facebook than on here. Have you gone on Facebook?
No.
You should start a Facebook page for yourself. Just
I don't trust that.
Well, you should. I mean, you know, not to send money to men who write to you saying, I want to fly back to see you, I'm in love with you, I'm from Russia. No,
she could join. I was being serious before. She could join groups that are looking for other singles.
But there are a lot of legit groups on Facebook, and it's not terrible.
Well, I sort of changed my mind about this now, so
you just want to stay alone.
I contend with things. I have lots of friends, but
okay, so you want to see if you can get your money back. I'll tell you what. I'll look over the agreement. At first blush, I don't see what they did wrong. Let's give them a call, though, because they're being discussed, and ask them what they think. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. If anyone's on Mile High Singles, and tell us your...
I'm reading the whole article on it now.
Tell us your result.
Apparently the Attorney General's office is investigating. I'll read up and we'll report back.
All right, we got a lot more happening here. Dr. Kent Lawson, we have some questions that came in since we discussed some of the things you can control and what they control through nutrition. Well, they don't control nutrition, but he says that's a good thing, though. Good nutrition has proven to work to keep your mouth healthier. And then he says when it comes to the actual crooked teeth, mouth breathing a bad thing, tongue placement can be a bad thing. You got to properly have it placed. That your lips being closed, your silent breathing, your posture, and these myo braces or mouthpieces that you wear during the night help his patients. And it's incredible how they help, to a point where younger children get them and they may never need braces. Older people have used them. He has proven you can widen palates even in adults. It used to be thought you had to get surgery. So, Dr. Kent Lawson, widening a palate is what, 90% of it, isn't it? Or 95? Isn't that the biggest part?
Yeah, it's a great big part of it. And I present 10 keys to normal occlusion, and one of them is that wide and full maxilla, because that's the problem with most malocclusions. That's what creates crowding, overbites, underbites.
The width of the palate.
It's the width and the whole overall development of the palate.
And you work on that.
Yes.
Without splitting it and surgery.
That's correct.
Well, I've had a surgeon tell me, when I told him about you, this was years ago, nah, it can't be done.
Yeah.
Well, have you been told that?
Well, of course. We hear that all the time from patients that have had...
But what do they say when you are actually widening the palate after a doctor told them it couldn't be done? What do they say to you?
Well, they don't want to discuss it.
What do the doctors, when you go to a party and you run into an oral surgeon, you run into an oral maxillofacial surgeon, what do they say when you say, I widen palates without surgery?
Well, first of all, I just gave a lecture to 60 dental professionals in Colorado Springs just a couple weeks ago. And they said they never heard that before. And they're still teaching the old school thinking in dental schools and orthodontic schools that the mid-palatal suture fuses at around age 12 to 14.
And it doesn't.
After that, no, it never does. And we've proven that throughout
you've
life.
written white papers and all that on this. Are you a pioneer in this?
Yes, among several others around the world
Okay.
that are doing this.
So you got to remember the new orthodontics, and it's for adults and children. New early orthodontics for kids, but he's still applying these same techniques for adults. It just astounds me. Now, do you have with adults, we don't have to get into pricing, but like I told him, I have 2 kids going through this for really what I think is a reasonable and a small monthly payment. Now, for adults, do you do it on a monthly payment basis or a lump sum?
We do it, and by the way...
On a monthly payment?
Monthly, or a lump sum, so either way.
Okay.
Yeah. Discounted if it's a lump sum. But, by the way, our examinations on both offices are always complimentary because we want the same thing. If I had a roofer come over to my house to replace a roof, I want to make sure that that person knows they're involved before they invest $1.
It's no secret that if you wanted a mouthful of veneers and needed even 1 transplant or 2 implants, you're looking at about $60,000 for a mouth. $60,000. Is your treatment anywhere near that?
No, it's a small fraction of that.
A very small fraction.
Yes.
Okay, we have more coming up.
It's less than 2 weeks away.
10,000 to 10,000.
Okay. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the former
always
employees
and that 10,000 is because you've got some severe TMJ.
Did you see what she looked like, the love doc? She was pretty grotesque. Did you see that picture?
Do you think we should mention that, or do you want him to come in? Mark, I've always wondered about price. If you put a price on it and say, look, the worst case would be 10, it could start out at around 7,000. Do you think that's bad?
Yeah.
Okay, I know. I think it's. You think other people would be convinced if they go there? And
I think it's one of those things. If you did do a price, you got to break it down into monthly payments.
You know, I think the big thing is they don't have to pay up front.
The fact they do monthly payments is incredible, Mark.
That's what I'm saying.
I couldn't believe it. I was expecting a lot of money.
And you don't have to have thousands up
And
front.
I don't want you to raise my price, by the way. But I was.
We're too late now.
Hopefully not.
That's why whenever they call, one of my
over now.
cards are hacked a lot, and they'll tell you the last 3 months I've had. And I feel so bad.
Suzanne almost won the bet.
Your card didn't go through, and I feel because I forget. I have a list of people that I have the card.
I don't think you were here yet.
I had like 20 people I have to call whenever.
I actually started a pool when the next time Tom would have to cancel.
Do you ever use Uber?
I have not, but
4 times I used it.
I was here last time he was breached.
Their cards were hacked.
I started a pool.
Every time.
Wow.
With Suzanne
But I
Guest
love
a couple of weeks ago, right when you did.
Oh, so I called at 1 as far as on, if he wants an update, that A1 or A+ plumbing, I left a message. And his cell phone doesn't take messages. Suzanne was going to text him.
It's your money. Call 720-895-0500.
Oh.
It's all about you and them. When you receive $300 now, any closed loan, use it for Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond.
But a mouthful of veneers are $60,000, or the implants are $60,000.
The implants and what he's talking about is almost like a full mouth reconstruction.
Those are implants, not veneers are cheaper, aren't they? Where they just plop them on.
Right. Yeah.
Super glue.
Yeah, but if they're doing
Gorilla
full
snot,
mouth
you call
of
it.
implants and all kinds of things, it could be that much. But I think he was talking about more of an exception.
Do you know the NHL, the hockeys?
Right.
That's one. If they get teeth knocked out, the NHL will pay for them to put their teeth after they retire.
You know, when I first started in practice, one of my patients that I was treating the whole family, 2 gals and a guy, and I got the guy perfectly fitted. I mean, beautiful result. The very next day, he went out and got all 4 of his front teeth knocked out with a hockey puck. 1 day later, after he just got through 2 years of orthodontics.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's one of their things that they'll do for hockey players because it's.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that before.
Yeah. No, guys, he did that. And at least his front, he did his fronts and stuff. And
Well, that
perfect.
knocks
He had to go to Tennessee to get
that knocks them all out at once. You know, with that puck, just bam.
Plus, it's probably
Yeah.
right at the gum.
You think it
Takes them
takes
off
them
right
right
at
by
the
the
gum.
root?
What's that?
Does it take the root?
No, usually it's breaking them off. The roots are up here. It breaks them off down here, and teeth are flying everywhere. No.
They get
I don't
over
know.
Tennessee.
I think they're using mouth guards now, aren't they?
Well, of course, but you still, they still happens.
Yeah.
You know, at the fight or, you know, whatever, the mouth guards I'm sure help.
Yeah.
I think mouth guards are almost bigger for concussions and stuff, is what they say.
That's true too. Yeah. You get a blow on the chin,
right.
Stops it from going into the brain. You know. Interesting discussions this morning, as always.
Well, you're welcome to the show.
You never know.
You never know.
I always learn some things. Yeah.
I got C-Dot all shaken up over that woman with eminent domain. I've been helping her out big time.
Was that cell tower or something?
No, different lady. This one, she's up in kind of by Evergreen. Beautiful property. They want to take it for a bike path, the back end of their property.
It was only like 180 feet.
They offered her $750. So she sent me pictures. Well, what she doesn't realize, and I told her this on air, she should get paid for those trees. Some of the trees are taken, yeah, you can't replace a 60 to 100-foot tree, but you can still give it a dollar value. She wanted to take 3. If I could get 3, I told her, don't you sign anything. Let's see what happens. So we'll know pretty soon.
See, I just thought she had a very small, that they were taking a very small.
It is a very small area, but it's got a lot of trees and it's nice.
So you thought it was funny when I said you cut a rug?
Cut a rug, that was great.
That's an old saying.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Sure.
It's the cat's meow.
That's the cat's meow. The same time.
At the hop.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. You know, my heart goes out to people that want dates and don't want to be alone because it's the weirdest. Think of the atmosphere we're in right now. If you had to date right now. Now, I think, thank God for the internet. It makes it easier. It really does. I mean, it really does. You can meet people on the internet. They're not all nuts. You can meet people. You could, for example, you know, get to know them at least. If they give you, you know, obviously people could catfish you with fake pictures and all of that. But it does take a lot of the preliminary crap out. And it's certainly better than walking up to somebody at a bar or restaurant, hey, so what's your story? I don't even know. I don't even know how to date. Dating is weird. What would you do in this kind? Where would you go? What would you do? I mean, it's like, and people, I don't know. It's just strange. So these dating sites, Mark, what would you do? Would you ever go on a dating site?
I don't know. I've been married so long, I have no idea what I do.
That's the point. I was married so long. To my first wife for 28 years, and I just didn't know. And here's the deal. I think that's where people, I tend to make very serious mistakes or spend money, like these dating sites, because they say to you, oh, you know, we're going to protect your dignity, we'll help you, we'll handhold you. By the way, the matchmaker, I was trying to think of her name, and I'm so sorry, Michelle, because you're going to be insulted that I forgot your name. But I'm telling you, it's a senior moment. I get them now and then. It's Michelle Fields, I believe it was. Wasn't she in one time? You know, listen.
Yeah, she was.
And when I said she was hard to take, I don't mean that as an insult. She just tells you like it is. But that just shows you she's not going to rip you off. I don't even know if she's still doing it anymore.
It was called Bonjour Matchmaking, Tom. Because we had her in studio.
Bonjour. Is she still in business?
I'd have to find out.
I don't even know if she is, but people have come and gone over the years, and she's been around and around and around.
There's a lot of complaints on this Mile High.
Really?
Yeah. It looks like the Attorney General's digging into
we've never had any complaints.
Deceptive practices, blah, blah, blah. But who's to say how much? You're saying it's not worth $9,000.
Okay, but she didn't pay 9. She paid 35 or 38.
Well, and she had the introductory membership.
I'd like to call and see if they would give their money back. There'd be nothing wrong with that. Hey, Angie.
Yes.
What is going on?
Well, on Friday, you had Liz and I think a man named Devin talking about Denver Auto Hail.
Yeah, that place. This was
with the rental cars, Tom.
This was an astounding story. I just couldn't believe it, Mark. This guy, I mean, they have this. It's a relatively new place. And what was the story, Mark? They were
went to
so far
Lakewood High
behind.
School.
He was a high school teacher and then turned professional.
Yeah, he would show up at schools and show up at office buildings trying to pull people together, and he got too many cars at one time. The part that was crazy, they're so far back, he said he's got over 100 enterprise rental cars out. We started calculating even at a very minimal cost.
80 grand a month.
80 grand a month.
So anyway, this Denver Auto Hail Repair is I think growing too big. That was my opinion, that they were growing too big. And what happened was they got far behind and they started picking up rentals for my God, for 100 people.
Which is great. And honestly, the owner came on and he seemed pretty legit.
He did. He really did. I'm not saying they're not going to collapse, and I'm not saying I'd bring my car there, but he doesn't sound like a cheater. In other words, if he collapses, it'll be despite his best efforts, in my opinion, not because he planned to or he was a creep. So anyway, having said all of that, Angie, what are you calling about?
Okay, so unfortunately, my issue with them, I think I'm going to have an attorney.
What's going on with him?
I wanted to tell you he is an awesome guy, Joel. But and he's so kind, so I hate to even be on the radio. But he's not always in their office.
Well, tell me what happened. What happened?
Well, my truck was there for 10 weeks, my Ford F-350.
Okay.
And yes, they gave me a rental, and it was a Hyundai. And I have a ranch. I've got horses and cows, and I've got bloodhounds, and I've got kids that like to go camping. You can't do any of that with a Hyundai. And after 2 months, they did give me a truck, but it doesn't tow.
All right, other than all of that, the delay.
All kinds.
What else?
Okay, I only got 2 calls from them total regarding my truck.
Delay and lack of communication. What else?
Yeah, after 10 weeks, I got a call from Joel, the owner you spoke with, on August 1st, telling me that my Ford F-350 was stolen from their lot.
Okay, so now, what is the problem?
The problem is, so he told me that they weren't done with the work yet. He said that they still had the windshield to fix.
But how can they fix the windshield if the truck's not there?
Well, the police found it the next day, and the police kept it for 3 weeks, going fingerprinting it and whatnot. And when I got to go see it at
where did the police find it?
On 13th and Calumet.
How far away is that from that? About a few blocks?
They're on 6th and Bryant.
So they didn't go far, is what you're saying?
Correct. I don't know how far they went.
Oh, whatever. They found it.
Yeah, they found it. So the police had it. Then when the police released it, I went to go check it out, and the windshield was fixed. In fact, all of the hail damage was fixed.
Good.
Well,
so what's the problem?
I don't hear a problem yet. They fixed. Oh, you're thinking that the car was sitting there fixed and they never even called you.
Well, I know for a fact that it was.
So they're so disorganized that you were actually done. It was done, and they were still paying for your rental.
But what would you sue them over now?
Within a couple days, though. And let me tell you, I've already talked to Joel about this.
What was the lawsuit, though?
Mark's question is the best. But, Suzanne, you already talked to Joel, and?
They've put in an insurance claim, even though they didn't have to have her car fixed for all the damage from being stolen.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
What additional damage did you have as a result of it being stolen?
The whole interior is damaged.
Which is being fixed through the insurance claim.
Yeah, but you're not going to like me, Angie. And Suzanne, you're not going to like me. But it's not their fault. If that truck was stolen,
they didn't have to turn in the insurance claim.
It's Angie's insurance.
But he said, I wanted to. I felt so bad for Angie.
Okay, that's good that he did it. But I'm telling Angie, whether we like it or not, people are not responsible for thieves unless he contributed to it some way. If it was way left out on the end with the keys in it, and knowing these guys, they're so inefficient and so disorganized, I don't know. They could have had a sign on that said, steal me, inventory's high. I have no idea. Where was the truck? Do you know?
Yeah, it was in their parking lot, which has no protection.
Well, okay, Angie,
yeah.
They're not. I just want to dispel these things quickly for everyone listening, because I'm tired of hearing it. People aren't required to have protection on their parking lots unless they promise you protection. Did you demand protection? Did you pay for protection? No. When you drop your car off, you have a reasonable expectation that your car will be taken care of. You do not have a reasonable expectation that your car will never be damaged or stolen. Ever. It can't be done. Unless a place advertises secured storage, protection, whatever. In this case, unless they did something stupid and it was stolen, then it's all on your insurance.
But here's the thing. I asked Joel, I said, Joel, how come you told me the truck wasn't done, but when I picked it up, it was? And he said, well, I'll look into it. And he never got back to me.
But what does that have to do with anything?
He lied.
Because...
Yeah,
so
but what does that have to do with anything?
I kept asking, and one of their technicians said to me, wait, it was finished on July 28th. And then he told me...
Other than bad business practice, that has nothing to do with your car being stolen.
But, okay, so then the same technician said it was stolen on the 30th of July, not the 31st.
What difference?
And he said they didn't even know it was stolen.
Angie, help me here. Yeah. Just help me. Help me understand, because a lot of people say to me, this is what they say, Tom, you're not listening. Okay? You're not listening. So I am listening, Angie. But what I'm asking my listeners now to do is listen. What difference does any of that have on the facts at hand? Here are the facts at hand. Your car was at the place being repaired. No matter what stage of repair it was in, it was there. And no matter when it was stolen, it was stolen. What difference does any of that other stuff make?
Because if they had called me,
yes,
actually, if they had, I was calling them almost every day.
You never finish a sentence. If they had called you, that's where you left off the sentence, went on a side trip. Then what?
The day that it was finished.
The day that it was finished, then it would not have been there to be stolen.
Correct.
Okay. Well, okay, now let's examine that. If they had called you the day it was finished, you are absolutely right. It would not have been there to be stolen. You're right. However, the act of not calling you is not negligence. So what happened, it was happenstance. It's not negligent not to call you. It's stupid. It's dumb business practice.
They were in disarray.
There's a difference. Hold on. There is a real difference, Angie, and I'm hoping you understand it. You know, listen, I do want to help you. If he put an insurance claim in, we'll get it fixed. I mean, he volunteered to take it.
I don't know why people do not get the goddamn
I had a car. I had a car stolen out of one of my shops, the one in Peoria.
Right, but there's no way this company can survive. There's no way.
Well, we don't know how much money's behind it.
They have to have so much money behind it, or
they don't have I don't know how they do it.
There is no way this can happen unless they're gouging the insurance and telling the insurance company out and outright lies that they're paying $60 a day for cars.
He might have learned a lot through this hailstorm, honestly. I don't know.
I agree. But
and he might be able to turn it around. The guy came on.
Would you tell the guy to go there?
Where's Michelle Fields? I thought her name was Michelle Fields. Is it?
Who?
There's a different Michelle Fields. I see.
Matchmaker.
We had a guy run into our shop in Peoria. Literally run in, right into the back shop, and hop in a car that we were getting ready to do an oil change.
That had a key still in there.
Well, of course, because it was in the shop, and took off with it. But he hit the wall coming out. So I had to turn over the garage keepers on mine, but my garage keepers wouldn't touch his. They said, no. We're not. Why would we pay for that car? Some thief ran in and tried to take it. They wouldn't even. They wanted nothing to do with paying for that car because we did nothing negligent. Zero. The guy was he was a bum too. When I say a bum, he was literally a homeless guy.
She is so cheap. She is.
Who?
You mean cheap as in like a cheap hooker? What do you mean by cheap?
No, she wouldn't for advertising. She wouldn't pay anything.
Oh. Who is she? Who are you even talking about?
That watchmaker.
Oh.
Well, when I looked up Michelle Fields, she's this young American journalist.
No. Look up Michelle Fields,
Denver,
and say, matchmaking. It's Bonjour Matchmaking.
There it is.
She used to be on Oh, that's Sally Fields.
No, she loved Rick Barber. She knew him really well.
Google is so amazing. I tell you what, you can.
She's been around so long, and she does so well.
Who do we play tonight?
Not San Diego, L.A. Chargers.
That's so weird.
Who do we play? Are you part of the team? Are you starting?
No, I'm off tonight.
I'm off tonight. I'm on.
I've been doing some night flying. I want to show you some.
Do you get into football? Do you play fantasy football? No.
No.
Let me show you some.
Ideal Home Loans has a program that they can help you.
Where are my beautiful pictures?
Videos are probably somewhere else.
No, not videos. They were. Oh, I know what they were. He texted them to me. I didn't save them yet.
What's the back line? You know offhand?
Yeah. 303-631-2634. I should say it.
30.
Oh, that isn't. It's a city there.
That's one. Oh, gorgeous. Look at that. I think you're cool.
What time is it?
So that's a little time lapse you did on the freeway there, huh?
Look at that.
Did you ever go up and land at the Ford?
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
2630.
I think it's so cool.
I just didn't want it over the.
Look, it's a night flight I took in the helicopter.
Oh,
Isn't that
okay.
cool? Yeah.
Where was that?
Oh, just over Centennial, but it was just so pretty.
Yeah.
My passenger took a shot.
Nice.
It's very cool.
Are there reporters that out there at night and do it, or is that kind of limited?
There's lots.
Reporters, and or maybe they don't even do it anymore. Or that traffic reporters and stuff. Do they do?
They don't do that much anymore.
What the hell are you talking about?
You mean like just regular news?
Right. News.
I don't
Google
run into.
took over.
I don't run into them much anymore.
Real time traffic.
All the cameras take over. Hardly anyone uses choppers. I don't know of anyone. We used to use them all the time here, right? But no one uses choppers that I know.
Who was the pilot? What was the guy's name?
Well, Art Newman used to do fixed wing for years and years and years. Old guy. And then after him, we had a chopper here. Who did the chopper here? But then
Didn't Channel 9 have an accident?
so did 4. Oh, really? We're plagued. 9 had 2.
One was up toward Fort Collins, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Did anybody
that
die?
was Channel 4, and the chopper pilot died.
You and I go hard at each other like we're going to war. You and I go rough, we keep throwing things and slamming the door.
Hi, Tom Martino. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So, anyway, Angie has very good, solid reasoning in that if her car wasn't there, it wouldn't have been stolen. That is for sure. Now, the fact that it was stolen, now this, of course, excludes any negligence. Let's just say they didn't leave the keys in it, they didn't leave it out, like across the street, or they didn't do anything just overly stupid. But her reasoning was, if they called me when that car was done, I would have picked it up. It wouldn't have been available. Well, that's true. But the fact that they didn't call you does not constitute negligence. It would be something like this, for example. Let's say there was an airline flight, and it was delayed. And it was delayed an hour because a storm came. Okay, no fault of their own. So when the storm cleared, it took them an extra hour to get out on the runway and take off because they were dilly-dally. Now, because of that, they got caught in a mid-air collision somewhere. Had they had taken off when they were cleared, they wouldn't have gotten into that collision because that other plane wouldn't have been there. But the fact that they delayed taking off did not cause the crash. It did not even contribute to it in any way. It just moved the timeline. Because, I could make the argument, if you didn't take your car to them, it wouldn't have been stolen. So those kinds of actions are not considered negligence. Now, the fact is, your car was damaged while it was there. You should have looked into the conditions, but he volunteered insurance coverage. So now what we have to do is just find out what the heck are they doing? Are they fixing it? And that's what we have to concentrate on. You know, I mean, because he's voluntarily taking responsibility.
And I doubt he's fixing it. He's probably setting that somewhere. You can go choose a place.
Do you know, Angie, what's wrong? You need to get that interior fixed. Did he demand that he fix it, or did he say you can just take it anywhere you want?
I took it to my place, a place by me.
Excellent.
But his insurance agent, his insurance claims adjuster, and I filed a claim with my insurance.
That's good.
And then my insurance has vehicle replacements.
Yeah.
And my insurance would have covered it, but then his insurance called and said, we're just going to cover it because they're just going to come after us anyway.
So what's the problem?
My guy, and the thing is my truck, well, my dad gave it to me 2 weeks before he died, but it was fairly...
Oh, my goodness. What did you just say about what happened?
I said it in your ear, Tom. Didn't it have your dad's ashes in it, but they were able to get those back, right, Angie?
They were not able to.
Oh,
yes,
no.
It had my dad's ashes in it, and those were stolen.
Oh, my.
There was a lot of things stolen.
Why would any... Obviously, there were some people that stole stuff, but why would they take ashes like that? Why would...
Right.
Okay, so what else was stolen that can't be replaced? What else?
Oh, like my kids' DVD players. They took all of my CDs, but they left a bunch of Mexican CDs. They took my topper. But all of that, that's not what I'm worried about. His insurance agent, the claims adjuster, he wants to just cover the leather seats with a seat cover.
Well, hold on. Here's the weird thing, okay? If they take responsibility, then we're going to take responsibility too. And we're going to make them fix it the right way. If they're taking responsibility, they got to do it the right way. What's odd is they didn't have to take responsibility.
So that is the weirdest thing. I mean,
why would she leave her dad's ashes in the car for that long?
That's a very good
Because they were in the
How long were
ashtray.
they?
My gosh.
You are sick.
Oh, my gosh.
See what we live with? He's like a child. You know what he was asking the other day? He looked at me and goes, I know where you got your shoes. And I said, no, you don't. He goes, you want to bet? I said, no, but where? He goes, you got your shoes on your feet.
Oh, God.
That's because Mark comes up with these stupid lunch.
That's like asking a little kid, do you want a Hertz donut?
What is it?
Like asking a little kid, do you want a Hertz donut?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, that sounds good. So you slam him in the shoulder, Hertz donut.
I like that one. I wish you didn't say that in front of Dan.
Sorry.
I heard that one way before.
Would have had him. You want a Hertz donut? See, but I'd wait till we actually had donuts somewhere.
Yeah, but
then you hold it.
You're hungry, you answer it right away.
That's like if you ever play a deck of cards, play 52 pickup.
the 10 influencers, one at a time. You said there were 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When we come back, I want to talk about that specifically, the 10.
Okay.
We don't have to go into long explanation.
Right.
You know,
I'll make it very
Yeah, but why would you leave? Why would you leave that in there for that?
I have no idea. I've got my dead dog's ashes in my house still. I just don't want to cover
But even there, you don't have it in your vehicle.
I can't say I keep them in the car. Come on, Dopey, what are you doing?
I don't know why you even have.
I don't want to bury them. They're nice tins.
I know you have
And the Shih Tzu tin is this big. The Doberman tin is this big. It's so weird.
You know they have different prices for that.
Oh yeah, it's per pound.
No. But you do it. But if you want just like combined ashes, it's you know, like several dogs.
Oh.
Or if you have just your dog.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, or...
I assume these are just my dog, but who knows? I mean, honestly, who knows? Could be some guy's uncle. Could be. I mean, you know, how do you know?
I know.
Can you run DNA on a freaking, I don't think you can on ashes. Hey, you know why? Do you know why? Did she tell you why her dad's ashes were in that truck so long?
Because that was the last thing he'd given her before he died a few weeks before, was my understanding.
But why did she keep them in the truck for 10, 12 weeks?
Well, because it was at the auto shop.
Okay.
Why? I don't know.
Why wouldn't you go pick them up? Say, hey,
That's
where's
what
it?
we
And
just
you
tried
pick
to
it
figure
up.
I thought Joel told me that the ashes were fine, but maybe they weren't. But
Dan wanted to know if they were in the ashtray.
You didn't have to run, did you?
I didn't have to run. I just went and got it.
How do I post to?
Select.
Is it the place where you'd hide?
You're such a child.
I can't argue that point.
Dot there.
Oh, get a panel of them. Okay, like this. Then on an Instagram, you can do 2 pictures.
Oh, I don't know.
pretty nice
I don't.
urn
I
when you
think
get
you have to do them as 2 different posts,
I
but
was told
maybe
you
not.
can from the Instagram queen, who's now the Instagram.
Oh, she is the Instagram queen. Did we kill Angie? Did we kill that call?
No.
Or are we going back to it?
No, we're going back real quick.
To the ashes? Oh dear.
Thank you, Suzanne.
I wonder what the damages are if you lose someone's body like that, honestly. Or now, hi.
Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. We have Dr. Kent Lawson with us from Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. And he also has, of course, the new orthodontics, which is an incredible thing going on that we're going to talk about. It's just something that's so wonderful. When it comes to children, it's new early orthodontics. And for adults, it's just new orthodontics. But in each case, he approaches them differently. And I'm telling you, to save money and speeds up the process and gives a more complete and natural appearance. We'll get into that. Right now, I want to go to people who've been waiting. We have a lot of people I got to get to, okay? So please be patient, and we'll go with you. Sally, what is happening?
Are you there?
Hi, Sally. I'm so sorry for the wait. How can I help you?
Well, I have a company called Getty Images that has sent me a demand letter. That,
Yes, pay it.
Yeah, just pay it.
Well, hold on. That was Mark who barked before hearing the whole story, but I kind of agree with him. Let me explain something, Sally. Getty Images is not an official agency of any kind, but they have chosen to buy up the rights to a lot of artwork. And they buy up the rights either as the sole owner or as the rights to get the royalties that they share with the owners. So let's break it down. Okay? You used photos somewhere?
Probably on a website.
My web designer used a photo that he got off what he said was a legitimate site.
Okay, now.
It was not watermarked.
It doesn't have to be watermarked to be copyrighted. The fact that it's not watermarked does not make it free. You have to buy it. Now, it could be a penny. I mean, or no, there are free artwork. There is free artwork available, I should say, but it has to be said royalty free, not just free to you to download, but free for you to use. Now, or free rights to distribute. And even when you buy things, they have conditions. Some will say not for resale. In other words, you can buy it, but you can't frame it, put it up, and sell it. You can use it as part of maybe an advertisement of some kind, but you can't sell the art itself. There are all kinds of rules. Now, what Mark and I do, since we use a lot of imagery, we subscribe to services. One of them happens to be a Getty service called Stock, I believe it's called iStock. Then there are other 123RF is another one, and there's just a ton of them, okay? And you subscribe to them. Now, if someone else did this on your behalf, they should pay the fine. And if they don't, well then they should. You should pay it and then go after them. The only thing I want to make sure of
is that it truly is Getty Images, and it's a legit collection.
If it's truly Getty, and that picture they actually have control over, and that picture was actually on your website.
They will collect.
They will collect, period.
They will. They'll take you to court.
And it can go up a lot. It can go up a lot more.
Huh. Even though you're seeing stuff online that it's a scam.
What's a scam?
If you Google Getty Images...
No, Getty Images is, trust me, they are very real.
No. I imagine there are a lot of people saying it's a scam. There might be some Getty Images scams. In other words, there might be, people who are pissed off and saying it's a scam, or there might be people imitating them. But they're not a scam at all. And now, there are tips on how to respond to them. Now, many times, people warn you, and if you take it down, it's fine. Did they give you a warning?
Yeah, they did. They gave me the warning, and we immediately took it down.
They don't have to do that.
Hold on. And you immediately took it down.
Doesn't that admit guilt when you just immediately take it down?
Well, yeah, you are guilty. You should immediately take it down. If that image is up there, the more after being notified, there are statutory damages per day. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
So
I sent them a letter back.
Now, when you took it down immediately, okay, did they still want a fine?
Yeah, they still said even if you take it down, you still owe us $980.
How did they figure the price?
I have no idea.
Well, there are a lot of copyright trolls, and they're not legit.
If you don't pay it, most likely what the next step will be is you'll hear from an attorney that's going to want probably $5,000.
But here's the thing. I know you've been you've been looking this up, and are people telling you not to pay it?
Just what I've seen online about what other folks are saying about it. They're saying it's a scam. And
if you have this, listen to this. You can request, okay, that Getty gets you proof that they own or manage the image, okay?
And I think I did that in a letter.
And proper registration and chain of title. And how did they come up with the price? That's important. And then they can provide sales data for the image to make sure they're not exaggerating on the price. That's the only argument you have. It's not paying. But what I would do is I would simply pay it, and I would sue my web developer in small claims court.
Okay.
I mean, he has no right to blame you on this.
Right.
Did he even offer to pay anything?
Yeah, he offered to split it with me. And he went to fight. He called Getty Images and told them that it was not watermarked and it was on a safe website. He wouldn't do that. And
on a what website?
Or it was a safe image to download.
How does he know that, though?
I don't know, because he's used other images from this website or something. Or
what? Do you know what the website was?
No, I didn't. I don't know.
Well, there are sites that are reselling images, and they're scams too. In other words, they literally will get images and resell them, and you actually pay for them, but you don't get rights. I mean, how would you know if you go to a website that charges you to buy a picture? How do you know that it's really them? You don't. So there are a lot of people who buy things or get things on so-called safe websites, and they're not safe. I'm really sorry to have to tell you that, but I would pursue it with him. If he wants to pay half, that's better than nothing. If you want to settle for that, that's fine. I would go and make him pay the whole thing. It's his fault. He's the expert. Wouldn't you agree?
I guarantee it's his fault.
He's the expert.
He's the one that got it.
Ben, what's going on with you, sir?
Hello?
Hey, Ben, what's going on, man?
Yes, sir. I think I'm starting to kind of get a runaround from an insurance company.
What's the problem?
So I got into an accident on July 2nd that was not my fault.
Okay, so explain the accident quickly.
Okay, I'm going southbound on D470 right before the Highway 85 exit.
Yeah.
And it's one of those corners that you have to kind of slow down to get around instead of staying at the speed limit.
Okay.
And there was a girl with a pickup truck on the right lane that decided to stay at the speed limit going around that curve. And she slid out, her back end slid out and hit my front end.
So did your Did she get the ticket?
Yeah, she got the ticket.
Okay. So now what?
So now I called her insurance company and put in a claim through them. But they're claiming that they can't get a hold of her and that she moved without informing them.
By the way, that's called non-cooperation of the insured party, and that is a legitimate reason for an insurance company to deny a claim, believe it or not. I think it sucks, but here's the deal. If they don't get a hold of their insured, they're right. Then they can say there's nothing we can do about it. As much as that sucks, they can do that. So what you have to do about it is you have to go directly after her. In fact, that's what you should do anyway. You need to find her and serve her. Then she'll go crying to her insurance company, "You better take care of this." So tell me, is there a way that you can get a hold of her? Do you have the address?
I have her cell phone number.
Good.
And the passenger that was in the car with me got her address as well. Well, at least her parents' address.
Good.
She was doing a summer job over here, so I'm not sure.
You need to find her, and you need to find her and get her served for small claims court. How much are your damages?
I got an estimation for about $3,500.
Man, you're lucky you're under $7,500. You can go to small claims court. I would do it immediately. Now, listen, you can serve over at her parents' and let them worry about getting it to her, or if they say she's not, you know, as far as you know, if she lives there, you show up at small claims court, get a default judgment if she doesn't show up, and go after her. But I think you're going to collect, because once she gets served, she is going to cooperate with her insurance company. Right now, she's just hoping the whole thing goes away.
Mm-hmm. But the harder part is that her parents live in Ohio, and they're claiming that they didn't know that she moved from Ohio to here, and that she has Colorado plates when her registration for the insurance company was with Illinois plates.
No, let me get this straight. The parents are in Ohio.
Yes.
Where is she?
She was here for the summer, and I'm not sure if.
How do you know she was? How do you know she was here for the summer?
That's what she said at the accident scene.
Okay. And then on her plates, were they Colorado plates?
Yeah, they were Colorado plates.
But you said something about she was still registered in Ohio?
Correct. She had not told her insurance company about her moving at all, or replating her car with Colorado plates. So, as far as the insurance company knew, she was still in Ohio? Correct.
Well, she would have 30 days to do that anyway. So was it within, I mean, this is not your problem, this is her problem. But did she do it within 30 days? Was it past 30 days, do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay. Here's the deal. Go after her. Where do you think she's back in Ohio?
I'm guessing probably. She's definitely college age, and she was in between college years, so I'm not sure where she's going to college. It might be CSU, or it might be over in Ohio.
ICS will track her down, but it's going to cost you a few bucks.
You got to try to track her down, man. You do. You can't. They don't have to do anything if they can't get a hold of her. See, I've often thought that was pretty sneaky. All an insurance company has to do is pretend, like an agent pretend he can't get a hold of somebody. You know, like, hey, make yourself scarce. And then, you know, they don't have to cover it.
Yeah, but think of all the false claims they'd get then.
Yeah, that's
I could simply say, hey, Tom hit me the other day, pay me, even though you never hit me.
But they don't pay. That's the point, Mark. Without cooperation of the insured, they're not required to pay. They can legally get out of it. That's what sucks, is that they can legally get out of it. Okay.
So how can I search and find her?
That's what we need to do. We need to. Do you have her? First of all, the ticketing officer. You have her license plate number and all that, right?
I do. That's on the police report. I don't have that on me right now.
Well, if you run the plate number, we can get an address.
Okay.
And then, but you got to do that through other means. I mean, I'm just going to be straight with you. There are ways to do it, okay? You're supposed to go through a cop, but so I know people who can get addresses, okay? And you need to get an address or hire somebody who can do it. And then once you get the address, you go serve her. You can't serve her. You have to have somebody serve her. Or you mail it to her. but I think service is best. Once you serve her, her insurance is going to pay up. You don't even have to worry about it.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, but I'm thinking you may even be able to sue her through her insurance company, and just serve them and her and sue both of them. Why? You know, that's a good point too. You may want to serve her, but serve them too, and name them both in the lawsuit. So then you know you can serve them. Where are they located? You can go to an office where they're located and just hand it in, just to make noise. That would be good. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. He is the guy that has his pricing down pat. I love bragging about this because so many people say, oh man, why did Frank list your condo at that price? My realtor would have asked way more. Yeah, that's right. So when you ask way more and then you have to take it off or go down a little, because that's what they tell you. Oh, you can always come down, Tom. Yeah, the problem is, if you come down, it's a sign of weakness. And in this hot market, when something stays on the market more than 30 days, it's considered almost like it's got cooties or something. It's a bad thing, a bad omen. So what Frank does is he prices it actually pretty low compared to the comps, because he knows there's a long way between an offer and a closing, a lot to go through. And in that time, you'll get multiple offers. And guess what? What you do is you play one against another. Frank knows what he's doing when he's listing your home. He'll stage it, clean it, take care of you. No long-term contracts. 303-920-1622, 920-1622, frankduran, And that brings up a topic. How are you going to finance that house? Well, you know what I say. For your next Ideal Home Loan, go to Ideal Home Loans. Ideal Home Loans is the company to choose when you don't know what rates are going to do. Right now, they're very low, which is great. But what's greater is the interest rate guarantee. So if you finance with them, buy or refinance, and rates go down just 0.75% over the next 2 years, they will refinance you free of all lender fees. That's right. And in this hot market, if you want to stand out, get a pre-approval, which absolutely positively approves you. All you're waiting for is the appraisal of that house and the title work, and you can close like a cash deal. So get ahead of the competition with Ideal Home Loans. 303-867-7000. 303-867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
This report is brought to you by Lifeline.
There's a crash clogging up the drive on the Turnpike. A wreck westbound US 36 at Sheridan. That's got all but the left lane blocked on that stretch. Several vehicles involved. Backups on the westbound side of the Turnpike.
Okay, Mark.
40 seconds. Highway crashing cleared southbound Broadway south, 6th Avenue. Watch out for delays there.
I don't know why people always think you say. It's very frustrating. When I hear this guy starts off, if I had a nickel for every time that I heard Tom say, don't pay in advance. Somehow, every single time you say that, you always qualify it. I've never heard you not qualify it.
I say don't pay big money up front.
Or use a credit card, or if it's special order.
Anything up front, here's what you do.
Right? But Mike, they don't hear any of it.
Or on delivery.
All they hear is don't ever pay up front. It's amazing. It's selective hearing, but it's on a huge level.
When you're looking for siding, you can go to all those other places
that has it as an aside. I say it like that because really people say, oh, we do this, and siding.
Yeah, during those hailstorms in Colorado Springs and here, every roofer all of a sudden did siding.
Yeah, and then it's like, it's like those yellow, those Sew and Vac stores you used to see with the yellow signs out front? You know what I mean? You see, it would say Sew and Vac, and then when computers came along, it would say N Computers, and then something else comes along, and they add something else, DVDs, they keep adding. Well, that's how people deal with siding most of the time, except for Eco Homes. They made it their primary business. They wanted to be the specialist when it comes to one thing, siding. And the siding, if you think about it, is the biggest single component for your home on the exterior. You see mostly siding. The rest is just trim and windows, of course, all important, and they do trim along with the siding, but siding is it. They do fiber siding, vinyl siding, lap siding, steel siding, aluminum siding, wood siding of all kinds. Whatever you want, call them. They will love to give you an estimate, fast and free estimates. If you give them a call at 720-639-4477, you can get the experts out there, and no, you won't pay more. You'll actually pay less because that's what they do. They stock it, they have crews available, and they are the experts at repairing as well. I knew Mark was going to say that because here's why. He reminds me all the time, when we get calls here, after people do a big siding job and then you ding 1 or 2 panels, no one wants to come back and repair it. Or after a storm, no one wants to repair it. Eco Home Exteriors has a specific repair crew that can help you. So whether you're repairing or you're installing or you want an estimate, 720-639-4477. 720-639-4477.
My name's Hillary. I was born, I think, somewhere around 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'll cut it up for you. You want me to?
No, I want to send it to him just like that. No, I'm just sending it to him.
I forgot to tell you. Is there a way you can pull out how many do we have of stem cell for the live pre-recorded? Just tell me how many. I may have to come in and listen to some if there's too many.
Joseph A. Lizette, 303-429-6200. That's 429-6200.
Absconds?
Abscond with something?
Yes.
When you abscond with something?
Abscond, thank you.
Abscond? You steal?
Yeah, how do you spell it though?
Abscond.
Google will tell us.
ABSCOND?
Yep.
Hi, Tom Martino here with Dr. Kent Lawson, the New Orthodontics. So, he says there are 10 things that can be controlled that can help you avoid crooked teeth. Remember, if you get them early enough, you can avoid crooked teeth because mouth breathing is an indication something's wrong. Let's quickly go down the list of 10 things. I'm really curious, Dr. Lawson.
Sure. Well, item number 1 is, and by the way, this is when I discovered the MyoBrace, developed in Australia and spreading around the world.
I'm taking notes.
So treat as early as possible. That's item number 1.
Well, okay.
Key number 1.
That's interesting. I never even thought of that. Early treatment, basically. That's a number 1 thing. Early. Okay.
Number 2 refers to that mouth breathing things, and that would be unobstructed nasal breathing. So and these are in the order of importance. So unobstructed nasal breathing, and then we talked about the fully developed upper arch. Upper jaw, that's very, very important.
And how do you do that, fully developed upper jaw? What does that mean?
Well, you know, these, by the way, these 10 keys to facial harmony are really keys that we look for when we're treating a patient, when we're treating whether it's a young person or an older person. We're trying to achieve all of these 10 keys.
Right. So what do you do for that part, for the alignment?
The widening, we can do that at any age with slow palatal expansion, we call it.
Is that the palate widening that we're talking about right there?
That's exactly right.
What do you call it officially, the key?
Well, the slow palatal expansion, the key is fully developed upper jaw.
Okay, fully developed, meaning widen the palate, basically.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
And then we go to that's proper positioning of the lower jaw, because if your jaw is back too far, then that creates a problem with like overbites and things of that nature.
And how do you correct the underbite or overbite?
Well, a lot of it is freeing up the development of the jaw. If it's a young patient, we can free that development up, because the biggest problem with overbites is that it traps the lower jaw so it does not get proper development. And now if we untrap it by special types of bite plates and things of that nature, and then we can really develop that lower jaw in a normal position.
So what would you use to do that? The mouthpieces? Would that be part of the myo brace?
Yes, some of them, the myo brace can be very effective with that.
So align the lower jaw, then what?
Then proper TMJ function, and that stands for
that joint?
Temporomandibular joint.
Now, what do you mean proper function? How do I know?
Well, ideal functioning would be without clicking or popping of the jaws, without pain in the jaws, without things like headaches.
If I do have that, what do you do about that?
Well, we generally have to, if it's a young person, we can correct it fairly easily. If it's an older person, it's much more difficult. But the bottom line is we have to correct the position of the jaw.
And how do you do it?
Well, with various types of orthopedic appliances.
Okay. And is this something they'd wear all the time or at night?
This typically is a nighttime very early, if we catch it very early, or full-time if it's a later type of thing, like an adult or somebody in their 40s, 50s, 60s, which is typically when we see a lot of these people, suffered from it maybe for 10 or 20 years.
That's what you're helping someone I know with, an adult, with the alignment of that.
Yes.
Okay, then what else?
Okay, then we go to ideal head posture. People don't realize.
How do you do that? You train them to do that?
Well, the teeth influence head posture. So when we get the teeth and jaws in the right position, then we can positively influence head posture.
But do you teach the kids how to, and the adults how they should hold their heads?
Yes, as an example.
Can you show me? I mean, seriously?
Yeah, as an example, the mouth breather always has a forward head posture. When you see them, they're straining their neck, their head comes forward, they lose the normal curvature of the neck, they see the chiropractor all their life. All of those types of things
like
occur.
An ape. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that. It's like our predecessors. Well, a lot of people say they're not a
And when you see a stooped when you see a stooped over old person, you think, my gosh, that's a very old person. They're about ready to die.
Posture, ideal head posture.
Yes.
That's just something that has to be trained. And and it's easier to get into once you're correct.
But please understand that teeth influence head posture.
No, I understand. What comes first, chicken or the egg? I mean, but you can then fight the tendencies and do it correctly, right?
That is correct.
And then as you correct, it gets easier.
That's correct.
All right. What's after head posture?
Well, avoidance of obstructive sleep apnea.
Isn't that the same as unobstructive nasal breathing? Isn't that the same?
Well, that can lead to that. But we're taking both of those are keys.
How do you avoid sleep apnea?
Well, you avoid it by having the normal development of the upper jaw. And remember, all of these things are connected.
No, I understand. But some of these things are treatments. Some of these things are things that go away as a result of treatment. In other words, I don't see them all. I don't see them all as treatment.
Right.
I mean, I see the treatment, like early treatment on unobstructive nasal breathing. I can see that.
Yes.
Widen the palate, align the lower jaw, correct TMJ function, ideal head posture, avoid sleep apnea. The head posture and the sleep apnea, I think, are byproducts of the previous things.
Yes.
Okay, then what?
Now, see, that's a key point, Tom, because these are all connected.
Right, exactly. Then what? And because you can't have one without having the other, because they all have to be in line.
That's correct.
But your treatment addresses all of them.
That we want to address all of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more. What are they?
Okay, so eliminating bad oral habits is one. It
Meaning
could be,
like just oral health?
Well, it could be a young child with a thumb sucking habit.
Okay.
Okay, or the mouth breathing. We consider that also a bad habit, possibly. Maybe there's no obstruction, but they're
what about pacifiers and bottles?
Well, we don't recommend the bottles. We recommend breastfeeding,
and then
because it's a natural...
What about for snacks or later on? No pacifiers?
Well, it's not... some of them are better than others, but it's not...
I mean, I've actually seen kids' teeth shaped around a pacifier. You can tell that's what they've been doing.
That's correct.
Their entire mouth looks like it.
Yes.
Okay, so avoid that, then what else?
Well, optimal teeth positioning is another one.
What does that mean?
That means you've got crooked teeth, get them straight, get them into proper position. That's
going
standard orthodontics.
Right.
Okay. And keep in mind, there's several of these that are
so even after doing all of these, the optimal teeth positioning, that's where you help them with the bracing toward the end.
Yes, that's correct.
Then what? Then what else?
Well, facial asymmetry, or lower jaw shifts off to one side. That's another one of the keys.
Is that going to be corrected with the appliance?
Yes. Now, the earlier that this is corrected, we've taken 4 or 5-year-olds that have that asymmetry because their upper jaw's too small, and it doesn't have to be into the permanent teeth area, by the way. It can be the primary teeth, the baby teeth, but if the jaw is not comfortable with the teeth fitting together the way they are, it shifts off to one side or the other.
Right.
And so that starts the asymmetry, and it can persist into adulthood if it's not corrected earlier.
Okay. So those are the keys to straight teeth. Now, here's the good news. If you get children as young as 3 or 4 years old, by the time they're adolescents, going into teens, they may never need braces. Isn't that right?
That's correct. Over half of the people that we have using this will never need braces.
And small monthly payments for a child. And anyway, let's keep going. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. If you have any questions, it's very important. Cody, this is very important. You had a fire in your apartment?
Yes, am I?
Yeah, what's going on, Cody? What did you lose? Everything?
Oh, yeah, I lost everything.
When did this happen?
I have renter's insurance on Monday, a week from today.
And you did not have renter's insurance?
No, I did not.
Ah, man, it happened on the 4th. Okay, so what are you calling about, sir?
So we've been kind of asking the fire marshals for West Metro Fire Department. We've been asking them what caused the fire.
Right, because you want to know if it's negligence of the landlord.
Exactly.
Or maybe negligence of a neighbor, because if they have renter's insurance, it would cover your stuff. Hold on, I see where you're going with this. Let's see if we can find an avenue for you to collect. Alaramis, speaking about collections, I'll tell you this. We got some listeners that are going to want to collect this special deal you got going on. I got to warn people, okay? There are only 5 at each location because this is free. And when I tell you what it is, you're going to want to call. This is a value, okay? You know, in some places, as much as $100 value. It could be $60, $70, $80 worth of work, and it's going to be done free. 5 callers for each store. You got one at Bowles in Santa Fe, just south there, and then you have one just near I-25 in Evans. You can go to the website for more or give them a call, 303-PRO-AUTO. Now tell them what it is, Al.
Well, Tom, we're offering an inspection of alignments, which we throw your vehicle up on the machine and we measure it. It's the only true way to know that things are aligned. You will wear your tires out so quickly with a misalignment. And the tires on these cars are starting to get pretty expensive. It's going to save you money. But here's what we do also. We'll do an inspection for you. Check your car over. Our warranty, 3 years, 36,000 miles, and roadside assistance with it included. It's hard to beat. Call us each store.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me with this free alignment check, you're going to give them free roadside assistance?
Absolutely. They come in and do biz with me. They have an invoice from my store, they get roadside assistance.
That is unbelievable. 5 in each location. You just heard it. Not only do you get free alignment check and all of the stuff that goes along with that and all of the extra inspections, and this is a real deal, you get roadside assistance in between your services. This is a great deal. 303-PRO-AUTO. 303-PRO-AUTO. Call now, 303-PRO-AUTO. The website, 303-PROAuto.com.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock.
Still troubles on the turnpike due to a crash on the westbound side at Sheridan. Several vehicles involved, all but the right lane is blocked at this time. Big delays on that stretch. Also delays up along westbound I-7.
It is, and I didn't. I was going to, and then I didn't. Because there was so much going on with the flood and everything.
I got a picture I can...
What do you think?
I don't know what you want to say, but you're right.
Yeah, I'd mention it. I hate it, man. When those folks get up and read the names off, and then what they'll do is right before they switch to another one, they'll mention people they actually knew that were involved. Oh my God, it's a tearjerker. 3,000 plus.
Yeah.
So many dead people.
5 seconds.
Person jumping on things.
I don't know which way to go. I'd probably jump.
Okay, I'd like to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart because it's helped me tremendously, and that's stem cell therapy. Now listen, there are so many people getting into it. Please beware. Go to trusted sources. Go to trusted people. Now, Denver, let me tell you about Stem Cell Institute of America that I represent. Again, I have nothing directly affiliated with them. I'm their spokesperson because I've checked them out and I've used them. And I can tell you that it works. I have no pain. I mean, you know, normal little ache and pain here and there, but it's astounding what it did for my lower back. And my knees, they have recushioned my knees to give me more joint space. And what it does is remarkable, and they know that. And they want you to be fully informed because there are a lot of misconceptions as well. So if you want to be fully informed, this is what I like about Stem Cell Institute of America. There's nothing, no one can disagree with this avenue of approach from Stem Cell Institute of America. Free informational seminars. That's right, free. You just reserve a seat because they are so crowded. They want to make sure you can sit and be comfortable, and they are wonderful. All you have to do is call for a seat. There's one near you. Denver, the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, Fort Collins, and other areas, north and south. And you need to attend them. It could be a life-changing experience if you intend to go on with it. And they don't require any deposits or any obligation whatsoever when you go. So just reserve a seat. 855-262-4040. That's 855-262-4040. Stem Cell Institute of America.
Hey guys, it's Ross Kaminsky, and you know my background is in investing and finance, so
I wanted to bring you a suggestion for a financial decision that could be a great thing for you. I'm talking about cutting back your mortgage term and lowering your interest.
Yeah, this time, when I was at 16 years ago, the market's just...
Well, they locked it.
It still went down a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Until they locked it.
Into a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage.
Remember back then, they stopped all air flights for, what, 3 days?
Yep. Bush, no one knew where he was.
He was at the...
No, he was in a secret... Remember, he was reading to kids, I want to say, in Pennsylvania. Or maybe...
Florida.
Wasn't... Which one was in the secret location? Was it Cheney then?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I remember, man. It was wild. You remember what airplane did take off and where it went?
Yeah, they took the Osama bin Laden lab.
Oh, right. The Saudi one.
The Saudis, they let fly out of here, and I still never quite understood that, but probably they're afraid they'd get killed, honestly.
I don't know if we'll ever know the answer to that.
I think you're right.
How much was contributed or not.
Yeah, isn't that business? Well, all of them were trained there. I mean, there's no disputing that.
Trained here.
Well, they all came from Saudi, didn't they?
Pilot training was here.
Yeah,
Florida.
I tell you what, our intelligence, you can say what you want about our intelligence, they failed absolutely miserably.
The Pennsylvania plane, though, we'll never know exactly what happened. But it sounds like they bum rushed the cabin and then they crashed it.
That was where they said, let's go, or what did they say?
Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Yeah.
But we can only assume that happened, right?
I assume a lot. There were some people talking to people.
Yeah, saying we're going to do this.
Right.
Geez, what would you do? There's nothing.
I can't imagine the fear. God, I can't even imagine the fear.
Well, I'm sure they had all bombs, fake bombs.
These guys knew they were going to crash that plane.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, did they all know?
No, I'm talking about the terrorists. No, the passengers knew on that one, especially, that one, that they were going to attack, and there was only one way to get out of it, death. They were going to save wherever. I wonder if they knew which target they had. Somehow they knew about what went on. They knew about it.
Oh, sure. People were calling.
Well, they had no idea what they were going to do with the plane.
And I bet they probably didn't even know what direction they were going.
They just crashed it. They didn't even try to fly it. Those people literally sacrificed their lives.
They sure did.
Hi, Dr. Kent Lawson with me from the New Orthodontics, also Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. What a wonderful, wonderful system. Okay, let's go to the phones and talk to Cody. And Cody, Basically, you're trying to figure out what happened, who's at fault, and how do you collect. If you didn't have renter's insurance, that's a good question. Somebody else, if they were negligent, will have to pay you. Now, if they don't have insurance, most likely they'll go bankrupt and you're not going to get anything, because that's the way of the world when it comes to massive, massive losses like this. So, does anyone know how the fire started?
Well, it started in my apartment, in my kitchen, but nobody was home.
Oh, well then you're responsible. If anyone, I mean, it wouldn't be anybody else.
We've been asking if we're responsible. We've been begging West Metro Fire Department to tell us if we are responsible.
Well, you know what I meant.
And they're saying things like this just happened.
Yeah, that could happen. I shouldn't have just said that right away. It's not necessarily you're responsible, but what I meant was most likely it's not going to be a neighbor. So it was in your kitchen when you weren't home. Now, you better hope that it was something that was wrong in the apartment and not something you did, because they'll come after you for it. It'll be a bankruptcy for you. They'll come after you for all of their losses, the apartment house and everyone else.
What was the accelerant?
They've stated that it's been a week now and we've been begging to find out, well, what caused the fire, what caused the fire, and they've stated to my wife is the one, I was at work, so my wife was at a neighbor's house, her mother-in-law, my mother-in-law actually, and they stated to her, ma'am, this is not your fault. I promise this is not your fault. You guys need to move on. You guys need to move on.
That's not official, but they're going.
Somebody burnt down the apartment. You know, it's somebody's fault. Whether it's ours, the wiring in the apartment.
Did they say where in the kitchen?
They say it appears to be the stove area, but they won't tell us the exact appliance.
Was it electric or gas?
Electric stove.
Okay. Well, before anyone can come after you, all of that will be in discovery or be open to you, so you never have to worry about that. So until someone comes after you, why do you need to know?
Well, they've tried to make us comfortable. They had us sign a new lease 2 days after our apartment was burned down. They had us sign into a year lease when we were still under distress.
Well, why would you do that? That's weird.
That was really weird.
Did it extend? Wait a minute. Did it extend your lease?
No, they had us sign into a new lease, a completely different lease.
For a different unit?
For a different unit, yes.
And, okay, that's kind of weird.
How can we help you?
Yeah.
Well, everybody around me is telling me I need to call lawyers and I need to get their insurance information and number, and like I don't know. I'm 26 years old.
Well, hold on, Cody. Cody, you have good questions, but there is no reason. I mean, no one's coming after you, and you're not going after anyone else. Now,
okay, and can I go after somebody?
Yes, let's put this way. If, let's say, there was a bad connection on that gas, a stove, you could argue poor maintenance. You could argue that it wasn't maintained or handled properly. If it was something that was the apartment's fault or should have been their fault. In other words, they should have known about it or taken care of it. In other words, negligence on the part of the apartment owner and managers. If you find something like that, you could subrogate or collect. You don't have an insurance company, so it's not called subrogation, but kind of it is. You'll go after someone for your losses. You figure out what you lost, and you sue them for it. But you don't sue them without information.
And it's probably not worth an attorney unless there's medical bills and other stuff, because, I mean, you're talking your furniture, your clothing.
Yeah,
what do you think that is?
Total up your losses. What are your losses?
5,000 tops, $5,000 to $6,000.
Okay, so it'll be covered in small claims court. So if you go to small claims court and you take the landlord to court for $5 or $6 grand, okay, you're going to say, due to the negligence of our landlord and management company, whatever, my apartment and the apartment house burned down. Then they're going to say, Your Honor, it had nothing to do with us. In fact, it could have had something to do with him. It started in his apartment. Then the judge will say, what's your proof, Cody?
Okay, and even if the front half of the apartment was my fault because the fire or my duty, the back half of the apartment was also ruined due to...
Whoa. Hold on. The back half was ruined due to... Keep going.
To asbestos.
Due to asbestos, meaning what? What does that mean?
When the fire department sprayed down the apartment, the asbestos from the ceilings fell into the apartment and everything was deemed ruined.
Okay, so even if you started a fire and you're responsible for that, you're not responsible for the asbestos. You're absolutely right. The asbestos damage and the asbestos stuff has to be done by the landlord. They have to mitigate that and get rid of it. Okay, they do have to do that remediation, and they have to do it properly. However, you know, as far as the fire goes, you know, it's whose fault? We don't know. So you want to sue for contamination of asbestos? You possibly could, but then the argument could be made that asbestos in and of itself is not negligent. And everyone knows it's not, by the way, because the rules came out, they were already in place. And the rule was, as long as it's covered up and undisturbed, you don't have to touch it. So they'll make the argument that the only reason they disturbed it is
the fire.
Due to the fire.
And the fire is whose fault? We don't know.
They'll make it mine because it's in my apartment.
Yeah,
well,
they'll try to make it yours. Now, you don't have to take that laying down. I mean, if it's not yours, it's not yours. They can't just say it's your problem. They have to kind of have a reason why.
And honestly, even if they prove that you left the oven on or something, I hate to say this, but you're a bankruptcy away from taking care of it, man.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what Mark is saying is, unless it's a crime, arson, you can bankrupt out of any judgment that comes up against you.
You're not going to end up paying this back over years and years, so I'd wait for them to come after you, man.
That's
just
what...
back, let it blow over.
I would, you know, you got an apartment, you signed it. I would just make the best of it. Don't do a lot of talking, but get as much information as possible, because you could still have a claim here, brother. You could still have a claim. And you want to make sure that, you know, everything is taken care of. And if you need to get it rebuilt, Genesis Total Exteriors and Interiors. What a bad transition. Although, truly, Mark Szymanski is starting to turn his attention to the indoors in the next few months. If you want to get lined up for a kitchen or a bath or a finished basement, give them a call. They do exteriors as well, of course, with the windows, gutters, painting, fences, decks, roofs, siding, all of that. Kitchens, baths, basements, large and small additions. And Mark, you can trust. That's one thing I can tell you that. And he's just a good guy and a great crew. GenesisTotalExteriors.com, 303-679-8509. And another client that we welcome to the show, and it's a very dear to us because it's helping so many people. We're happy to announce that we have had people get treatment for addiction, and it's thanks to the Raleigh House. Now let me just tell you something about the Raleigh House. The Raleigh House is a treatment center for addicts, substance abuse or alcohol, you know, all of it. If you have an addict in your life, and I know all of us, we all know addicts, don't we? Well, listen, that can be triggered by finances and legal stuff or the family or marriage problems. Hey, listen, the bottom line is that you know how to talk to this addict and don't let it go on. It will never get better by itself. The Raleigh House has established this number for us, especially for you to call with any and all of your questions. That's why it's there. If you never go to the Raleigh House, you'll still be better for calling because you'll be smarter. If you want to know how to approach your addict, how do you get them into treatment, how do you approach the subject, they'll tell you that, because it all depends on your circumstances. And that's why they're going to talk to you individually. 720-893-5559. And if you are an addict, you're welcome to call directly to us. Call TheRaleighHouse.com, by the way, The Raleigh House, 720-893-5559.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock.
Good news, that earlier wreck on the westbound side of the Turnpike at Sheridan, that's been cleared out of the way. Traffic flow.
Getting back up to speed on that downward crash on the westbound side of 6th Avenue. This is at Wadsworth.
So when I talk and use the numbers, of course, 0400 is for kids and 0100 is for Aurora. If I don't want to give both numbers, but in most of my spots I do the adults like you wanted to. But every once in a while I throw in the kids. They can all go to that one number, right? The 0100.
They could go to it.
Or would you prefer?
Well, the problem is it just doesn't ring at the other office.
So will they refer them, or they take a number and get them back?
Well, we see young children at the Aurora Orthodox office also.
Who do I have coming up, Plexident?
Flexident of Colorado. That's the place to go if you have hail damage to your car. In fact, if you have any damage where the paint is not involved, I highly recommend Flexident. Flexident has years and years and years of experience. They're permanent residents here. They've lived here for years and years. Yes, citizens. And what I mean by that is they're not pulling in, putting up a tent, and moving out the next day like a lot of these places are. Please beware of these temporary places, because there's nowhere to go for warranty, nowhere to go if you've been ripped, and I'm telling you, a lot of it's going around. So if you want paintless dent repair, go to the place that's been around for years and years, someone I know and trust, Nick and his team. FlexidentColorado.com, top rated with the BBB, and on my referral list with glowing reports. 303-619-6273. It's the preferred way. It's quick. It's easy. You'll never know the damage was there. 303-619-6273. Then once you get that car all beautiful, you can park it under your new garage door if you call One Clear Choice Garage Doors. Now listen, you can call them for new garage door openers starting at just $2.99 with Wi-Fi technology, battery backups, time to close features. Or you can call them just for adjustments, tune-ups, and help with your garage doors. Whatever you need. If your spring breaks, whatever, call them. You can depend on OneClearChoiceDoors.com. 303-565-6409. 303-565-6409.
My name's Hillary. I was born, I think, somewhere around 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Freaking looters. Why do they blank out their faces?
Who? Really? Well, because they haven't been charged yet.
What are we talking about?
Looters. They were just trying to steal guns, a whole bunch of them.
Really? From like a
when
shop?
you really
listen, man. It's Florida shit. You can buy a gun.
Now, if you're standing there, though, and there's a bunch of looting going on, what do you do? What do you do?
As a cop or as like
a business owner?
As a business owner or a consumer, you can't stop it.
I remember what they did in L.A. There's people on top of the buildings and stuff with rifles.
Ooh, consumer.
During the riots,
cops?
Rodney King. No. Store owners.
During the Rodney King riots. Remember they dragged that one dude out of the truck and kicked his head in and killed him?
Hit him. They didn't kill him.
Doesn't even get a hero.
Oh, I thought they killed him.
No.
Are you sure?
What?
Jeez, I don't know. That might be one.
Yeah, you might want to do it.
I mean, he might be dead now, but he.
I bet you I know where you got your shoes.
Where?
Couple or nothing.
Where?
On the floor.
Oh! Lunch! Yeah, that lunch. You didn't say lunch.
I saw you kicking those shoes off.
That is a good one.
A guy in New Orleans came up. A little kid came up.
And okey doked him.
No, I said, get the hell out of here.
Truth. 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino. By the way, I want to give out this number for Dr. Kent Lawson because we're near the end of the show. For adults at Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ, where they use the new orthodontics on adults, you can get results in 2 years. It's unbelievable. 303-690-0100. 303-690-0100. And they also see children there. But the other children's place down south in Lone Tree, it's Neo Kids Dentistry. It's actually called New Early Orthodontics. And if you want to go there to New Early Orthodontics, the number is 303-690-0400. And that's 690-0400. And it's just astounding what he can do. One of the pioneers in the fields of orthodontics. Tina, what's going on with you, Tina? Tina? We don't have Tina. So if you can get her back, fine. Otherwise, I'm going to talk to Melvin. Melvin, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Melvin?
Okay, I purchased a vehicle from a dealer, and It was. I later found out it had been deemed declared totaled.
Really? It was a
And
salvaged vehicle?
It was not declared to me. I don't know about salvage.
Well,
but
here's what technically, when an insurance company buys a car, they put a salvage title on it, and they retire the title, and then you have to have it redone, and it always has an S on it, which means salvage, and that should be disclosed to you. So tell me about this. How did you find out it had been in a wreck?
It had not been in a wreck. It had sustained hail damage.
Okay, there's a little difference with hail damage. They don't salvage them, I don't think, but they still can call them total losses. So, was your car fixed after hail damage?
No, I bought it with the hail damage, and that obviously was disclosed.
Oh, okay. So what is not disclosed to you?
That it had been deemed or declared a total loss.
Of course. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's a total loss, meaning it wasn't worth repairing. That's all it means.
And they don't have to disclose it to me when I purchase
you're looking at it.
If it's an actual salvage title, yes, they have to disclose
right,
it.
But it wasn't a salvage title. And they don't have to... See, they don't have to tell you, see, Melvin, do you see all this damage? By the way, Melvin, does it look extensive? Does it look extensive?
It was obvious, yes.
But did you have plans on getting it fixed?
Probably at some point.
Okay, so did you get substantial savings?
Yes.
Okay, well, let me explain something to you, okay? You saw the damage. There's nothing to disclose to you. You saw it. It was substantial. They don't have to say to you, by the way, Melvin, there was more damage here. It wasn't worth fixing. But they don't have to tell you that.
But why do you even care now? I mean, what happened?
Yeah, it doesn't change your status at all.
Okay.
I mean, you're trying to sell it and you're having trouble
Just
selling
remember
it?
this, Melvin. Your car is not a salvaged vehicle.
And is that where the difference is?
Yes. With hail damage, they don't salvage them. They're not taken off the road and branded for life. They're not. If you get that car fixed, you never have to tell anybody anything.
Call Nick and get an estimate, man. He'll make it look perfect.
I'm just telling you, you don't really have a case, but you do have some special challenges when it comes to insuring it, and I hope you truly understand what it is, because you should talk to me about this tomorrow, because it's a major deal. You're not going to have insurance, basically. So hold on. Suzanne, he needs to get back on tomorrow.
Lynn and Michelle here, the sisters from Brothers. This year, those smart weather guys don't know what to expect. Why?
El Nino. Ever. He should never, don't bother insuring it for comp or collision. You will never get paid, ever.
We should do a...
liability only.
We should do a social campaign for the doc here. Think of what you could do with just some nasty-looking teeth for
No, I know. No, I know we should. I told him I wanted to do one, but we have to have an offer, and we don't. That's the thing with what he does.
Well, you guys come up with